Chapter 21:13. What is that? Yi Chunfeng and the rest tore through the layers of restrictions and arrived at the ancestral land of the devouring fiend. They discovered that the skies above the ancestral land of the devouring fiend had suddenly changed. A thick black fog filled the air, and within the black fog, they could vaguely see a huge diagram that was devouring everything. Devouring Fiend Diagram, the defining treasure of the devouring fiend race. The war demon had a certain understanding of the devouring fiend race. Through the black fog, he could see that the diagram was the defining treasure of the devouring fiend race. It was extremely powerful. Chungfeng, all you back off. Leave the devouring fiend diagram to this old man. The primordial dragon god felt that the devouring fiend diagram and the devouring fiend ancestral vein had long merged into one. It could continuously borrow the power of the ancestral vein to attack. He did not want Yi Chunfeng and the rest to take the risk and face it alone. Those who offend the devouring fiend race will be killed without mercy. A ruthless and cruel voice resounded from the depths of the devouring fiend ancestral vein. The devouring sky god, Tao Tai, and the rest appeared in the chaotic devouring fiend ancestral vein. Behind them were hundreds of powerhouses that were bound by the light of restrictions and could not move. These powerhouses were from the human race, the ancient race, the demon race, the celestial race, and even the devil race. Blood sacrifice. In order to kill Yi Chunfeng and the rest, the devouring sky god had sacrificed the hundreds of captive powerhouses, using their blood to strengthen the devouring fiend diagram. Woo woo woo. After fusing with the boundless blood, the devouring fiend diagram's power increased again. A bone-chilling, ghostly cry resounded from the devouring fiend diagram as it evolved into a strange phenomenon. Ing-ing-ing. As the devouring fiend diagram's power increased, a deafening dragon roar resounded from the primordial dragon god's body. A 10,000-foot-long phantom of the primordial ancestral dragon broke out of the primordial dragon god's body and roamed the skies, attacking the devouring fiend diagram. As the primordial ancestral dragon phantom attacked, a ferocious skull appeared from the devouring fiend diagram and engaged in a fierce battle with the primordial ancestral dragon. Primordial dragon seal. As the primordial ancestral dragon god and skull fought, the primordial dragon god opened his mouth and spat out a seal that circled around the devouring fiend diagram. The first dragon seal was one of the three greatest treasures of the dragon clan. In the hands of the first dragon god, it could display its greatest power. Boom! When the first dragon seal slammed into the devouring demon diagram, the explosion of power caused the entire space to explode. The sky above the ancestral land of the devouring fiend was now in a state of chaos. The primitive dragon god controlled the primitive dragon seal to launch a powerful attack, but the demonic engulfing diagram was able to fend off the primitive dragon seal's attacks with the help of the primitive dragon seal. Time after time, the primitive dragon god controlled the primitive dragon seal to launch another attack. Primal chaos aspect, divine wood. Looking at the devouring demon diagram, Yi Chunfeng immediately controlled his chaos avatar to break out of his body. It turned into a majestic chaos divine tree and suppressed the fiend devouring ancestral land. Tens of thousands of five-colored roots extended out and took root in the ancestral land, forcibly suppressing the fiend devouring ancestral land. The primal chaos divine wood was the nemesis of any ancestral bloodline. Under its oppression, the rampaging ancestral land of the devouring fiend was immediately sealed, unable to continuously supply the demonic devouring diagram with sufficient energy. Why is the chaos divine wood on him? Looking at the sudden appearance of the chaos divine wood, the devouring heaven god's expression changed. If the ancestral land of the devouring fiend was sealed by the chaos divine wood, then they would be in grave danger. Without the ancestral land of the devouring fiend to supply energy to the demonic engulfing diagram, the demonic engulfing diagram alone would not be able to withstand the primitive dragon god's attack. Tao Tai, Grand Elder, Let's go and kill them first. The devouring heaven god cast his gaze towards Yi Chunfeng and the rest. He immediately led the demonic beast Tao Tai and the Grand Elder to attack. At this moment, their only option was to kill Yi Chunfeng and the rest and release the primal chaos divine wood suppression. Only then would they have a chance to reverse the situation. Leave the demonic beast Tao Tai to me. I will deal with it. You guys finish off the other enemies quickly. Looking at the incoming enemies, Yi Chunfeng took the lead and faced the demonic beast Tao Tai head-on. Although Yi Chunfeng had lost his chaos aspect and his battle strength was greatly reduced, he could still display the battle strength of a late void god after burning his primordial blood and merging with the heart of God. In addition to the two domains, he had a chance of killing the demonic beast Tao Tai. Roar, roar, roar. When a mountain-like demonic beast Tao Tai saw Yi Chunfeng attacking, it immediately opened its bloody mouth and released a terrifying devouring power. It attacked Yi Chunfeng like a black river. Desolate body enlarge. Facing the attack of the devouring power released by the demonic beast Tao Tai, Yi Chunfeng immediately activated the chaos body and kept enlarging his body. He held the universal sword that had also enlarged and broke the black river of devouring power with the sword. Where did this person come from? Feeling the destructive aura from the chaos body, the devouring heaven god couldn't help but reveal a solemn expression. He, who had lived for countless years, had never seen a person with such a foundation. Moreover, with his eyesight, he was sure that Yi Chunfeng had not cultivated for more than 10,000 years. While the devouring heaven god was distracted, the phoenix god continuously released the phoenix sacred fire. It turned into lifelike firebirds that attacked him and suppressed him continuously. Demonic devouring skill break. The firebirds formed by the sacred fire attacked. The devouring heaven god circulated the demonic devouring skill to the maximum and formed 9 devouring black suns to forcefully break the attack of the firebirds. Demon Emperor's divine bell. When the devouring heaven god forcefully broke the attack of the phoenix god, the phoenix god continuously struck out 18 palms at the demon emperor's divine bell. The divine runes on the surface of the demon emperor's divine bell were like divine stones from outer space that struck the devouring heaven god. Demonic devouring banner. At the critical moment, the devouring heaven god summoned a pitch-black demonic banner. He waved it rapidly and slammed it on the demon emperor's divine bell. Roar, roar, roar. When the two void god artifacts collided, the demonic devouring banner immediately let out a bone-chilling cry of a ghost. With one strike, countless living beings sealed in the demonic devouring banner were turned into ashes. Your demonic devouring tribe should be annihilated. The Phoenix God did not expect the devouring heaven god to use the lives of hundreds of millions of living beings to refine the void god artifact. His sharp eyes shone with a murderous light. He instantly opened up his sacred fire territory and shrouded the devouring heaven god. He wanted to kill the devouring heaven god in one fell swoop. Demonic devouring banner. 10,000 demons descend. Facing the attack of the sacred fire territory, the devouring heaven god immediately opened up his demonic devouring territory and released the hundreds of millions of living beings sealed in the demonic devouring banner. They merged into the demonic devouring territory and increased the power of the demonic devouring territory. Tens of thousands of demons appeared and suppressed the sacred fire territory. The Phoenix God and the devouring heaven god opened up their territories and fought fiercely. The chaos divine beast and the demon god worked together and completely suppressed the severely injured great elder of the demonic devouring tribe, forcing him to retreat. Roar, roar. Old fogey, stop your meaningless struggle. Obediently become the soul of the dead that your grandpa chaos divine beast spoke of. The chaos divine beast held the chaos divine axe and attacked ferociously while humiliating the great elder of the demonic devouring tribe. The great elder was enraged and gritted his teeth. 100 evil weapons slash. Just as the great elder of the demonic devouring tribe was about to kill the chaos divine beast, the demon god seized the opportunity and activated the strongest power of the 100 evil weapons. He slashed at the Great Elder with all his might. The terrifying attack forced the Great Elder of the demonic devouring tribe to retreat. The muscles on his arms were torn and bloody wounds appeared. Chaos Mountain Body. The Great Elder of the demonic devouring tribe was forced to retreat. The Chaos Divine Beast immediately transformed into the Chaos Divine Mountain and descended from the sky. It carried a few trillion pounds of force and pressed down on the Great Elder's head. The terrifying force pressed his legs into the hard ancestral ground. The demon god seized the opportunity and merged his body with 100 evil weapons to deal a fatal blow to the Great Elder of the demonic devouring tribe. Cheat. The Great Elder of the demonic devouring tribe's defense was broken and the devouring power in his body was crushed. His body was slashed open by the demon god's unity of weapon and turned into a bloody mist. Roar, roar. Chapter 21:14. Chaos Realm Fuse. When the divine beast of chaos and the demon god worked together to kill the Grand Elder of the devouring demons tribe, Yi Chunfeng instantly fused with the chaos realm and increased his strength to over 10 billion Jin. He then clashed with the ferocious Tao Tai who had transformed into his battle form. Boom! A shocking explosion sounded in the chaotic, devouring demon's ancestral vein. When Yi Chunfeng clashed with the Tao Tai, the explosive force pushed the Tao Tai back by a few thousand meters. Its huge body smashed through a huge boulder and crashed into a mountain in the distance, creating a huge hole in the mountain. Sword Realm Fuse. Destruction of Gods. Tribulation of Gods. After injuring the magical beast Tao Tai, Yi Chunfeng quickly merged with the domain of sword and raised his way of the sword to the extreme. He controlled the Void God Sword Soul and merged it into the Myriad Origin Sword. He used the strongest attack he knew to attack the magical beast Tao Tai, worsening its injuries. When the attack was unleashed, the Universal Origin Sword exploded with invincible Taoist rhymes. The terrifying power of God slaying could destroy anything and everything. It was as though the end of the world had arrived. It instantly annihilated the Tao Tai who was struggling to get out of the mountain and destroyed its body. Ancestral Swords. Infinite Chaos. After the first attack, Yi Chunfeng, who possessed boundless divine power, used 2 more supreme divine powers to attack the Tao Tai. They continuously bombarded the Tao Tai, shattering its body and worsening its injuries. Devour. After receiving Yi Chunfeng's continuous attacks, the Tao Tai opened its mouth and devoured Yi Chunfeng's attacks. I would like to see how many attacks you can devour. Sensing the ancestral swords and the infinite chaos being devoured by the Tao Tai, Yi Chunfeng continued to attack it with supreme mystiques. He forced the Tao Tai to continue devouring and wanted to make it explode. Roar, roar. Boss, let me help you deal with it. After killing the first elder of the devouring demons clan, the Chaos Divine Beast, Evil God appeared beside Yi Chunfeng and attacked the demonic beast Tao Tai continuously with his powerful killing moves. Although the Tao Ye's body was a space of its own and could devour all energy, the Tao Tai was still a living being. It was far inferior to the Chaos Divine would. The Tao Tai had a devouring bottleneck and could not devour continuously. As it devoured a large amount of energy, its entire body began to expand, and its ferocious face revealed a pained expression. Continue attacking. The Tao Tai is about to reach the devouring bottleneck. The God-Eater brain, which was calculating rapidly, sensed the Tao Ye's physical condition. It immediately transmitted a message to the Chaos Divine Beast and the Evil God, asking them to continue attacking at all costs. Soon, the magical beast Tao Tai reached the devouring bottleneck, and a huge hole burst open in its swollen belly. It let out a painful howl. Chaos Domain, Sword Domain, attack. The Tao Ye's body was severely injured and could no longer devour. Yi Chunfeng immediately opened up the 2 domains and used the power of the 2 domains to attack the Tao Tai, worsening its injuries. Slowly, the Tao Ye's resistance became weaker and weaker. Its bloody body was suppressed by more than 100 billion pounds of energy, and it lost the ability to continue fighting. 9 underworlds keep. After severely injuring the Tao Tai, Yi Chen Feng did not kill it. Instead, he summoned 9 underworlds and kept it in. He was going to bring it back to Yi Wuji. He believed that his father would have a way to tame the Tao Tai and use it for him. Ka. While Yi Chen Feng and the other 2 were dealing with the Tao Tai, the primitive dragon god's ferocious attacks were forcefully cracking open the devouring demon diagram, weakening the devouring demon diagram. Chen Feng, leave this to us. Go and extract the devouring origin source. The primitive dragon god, who had complete control of the situation, transmitted a message. All right. Yi Chen Feng nodded and retrieved the chaos divine wood that was suppressing the devouring demon ancestral vein. He quickly flew to the deepest part of the devouring demon tribe. Relying on his absolute strength, he continuously broke the seals in the devouring demon tribe's ancestral land and discovered the devouring origin source that was sealed in the deepest part of the devouring demon tribe. Chaos divine wood devour. Ordinary empty gods could not extract the origin source. However, Yi Chen Feng had the chaos divine wood and could do it easily. The chaos divine wood grew bigger and took root in the devouring origin source. It withstood the attack of the devouring origin source and continuously devoured the devouring origin source. Suddenly, a boundless energy exploded from the deepest part of the devouring demon tribe, causing the space within a 10-mile radius to collapse. The devouring origin source seemed to be able to destroy heaven and earth, destroying the chaos divine wood. However, the chaos divine wood was too powerful. It completely withstood the attack of the devouring origin source and continued to devour it. Damn it! Sky devouring god, whose attacks were completely suppressed by the phoenix god, felt the devouring origin source being drained away. He immediately guessed Yi Chen Feng's real motive for entering the devouring demon tribe. However, he could not detonate the devouring origin source and could only try his best to escape. However, the divine fire territory that the phoenix god had created was too powerful, and sky-devouring god's injuries were worsening. In addition, the billions of living beings sealed in the devouring banner were being melted by the phoenix divine fire. Sky-devouring god could not tear the divine fire territory apart. At that moment, sky-devouring god could only hope that the other demon tribe members would come to his aid. However, at the thought of the ancestor dragon god's peak empty god abilities, sky-devouring god became desperate. In the entire demon tribe, the only one who could threaten the ancestor dragon god was the hell demon god, who was in seclusion. Time slowly ticked by. After about 2 hours, the devouring demon picture, the treasure of the devouring demon tribe, was torn apart by the ancestor dragon god. After tearing apart the devouring demon picture, the ancestor dragon god was only slightly injured. In less than 30 breaths, he had completely recovered. He stood in the devouring demon ancestral vein, suppressing the area. After the devouring demon picture was forcefully torn apart by the ancestor dragon god, sky-devouring god immediately suffered from the backlash. Seizing this opportunity, the phoenix god launched a series of fatal attacks on him. He blasted a huge bloody hole in his chest and controlled a large amount of phoenix divine fire to enter his body through the bloody hole. No! After being attacked by the phoenix divine fire, sky-devouring god let out a cry of despair. He tried his best to extinguish the phoenix divine fire. However, his injuries were too severe. In addition to the phoenix god's attacks, his charred body exploded. His soul was also melted by the phoenix divine fire that the phoenix god spat out. After killing sky-devouring god, the phoenix god took his belongings and went to the place where the devouring origin energy was suppressed with the ancestor dragon god to protect Yi Chen Feng. The devouring origin energy was extremely vast. Even the chaos divine tree had to devour for 5 days and 5 nights before it could absorb the devouring origin energy into its tree body. While the chaos divine tree was absorbing the devouring origin energy, the demon devourers did not appear to stop it. Instead, They fled from the demon devourer tribe like frightened birds. Let's go. Let's leave this place. After successfully absorbing the devouring origin energy, Yi Chunfeng stored the chaos divine tree into his body and flew out of the demon devourer tribe with the ancestor dragon god, the phoenix god, and the others. Just as they flew out of the demon devourer tribe's territory, Yi Chunfeng's sharp senses sensed dozens of huge demon race warships approaching at an extremely fast speed. Looking at the battle flags hanging on the warships, Yi Chunfeng revealed a cold smile. I didn't expect the 6 great demon races to be on the move at the same time. But is this useful? Yi Chunfeng looked at the approaching demon race warships and said with high fighting spirit, Ancestor Dragon God, Phoenix God, Demon God, let's go and give the demon race a big gift. After saying that, Yi Chunfeng merged with the Chaos Dharma form, the Heart of God, and ignited the primordial blood. He took the lead and rushed forward, preparing to face the 6 great demon races head-on. Chapter 21:15. 9 Demon Patriarch, we've discovered the enemy. They're flying towards us at breakneck speed. The moment the demon race's experts discovered Yi Chunfeng's group, they immediately relayed the news to the 9 demon gods sitting on the central warship. The 9 demon gods were the patriarchs of the strongest demon race, the original demon race. All the previous patriarchs had originated from the original demon race. Seal the space, don't let them escape. The 9 demon gods immediately stood up from their chairs and led the 5 patriarchs to the central warship's deck. They wanted to see who was so daring to openly attack the devouring demon race in the demon world. And it's them. From afar, the 9 demon gods discovered Yi Chunfeng's group. When he saw the original dragon god standing beside Yi Chunfeng, his eyes widened in shock. Original dragon god, he's actually not dead. In the 9 demon gods' view, the original dragon god, who was at the end of his lifespan, should have died after blocking Shen Huang's attack. He shouldn't have appeared in the demon world. Could it be that the original dragon god has broken through his bottleneck and reached the peak of nihility god realm? An ominous thought surfaced in the 9 demon gods' mind. When the 9 demonic gods sensed the danger, Yi Chunfeng summoned Shun Daoxiu, Shun Yanggu, Shun Mo Zhulong, and the others from the universe realm and launched a ferocious attack on the frontmost battleship. Boom, boom, boom. Streaks of dazzling divine light streaked across the sky. The terrifying attacks, with unparalleled destructive power, bombarded the first devil warship. The terrifying attacks smashed the warship's defenses as easily as crushing dry weeds and smashing rotten wood, forcibly blasting a huge hole in the impregnable warship that was hundreds of meters long. Kill! With the hole in the warship, Yi Chunfeng and the others immediately flew into the hole. They controlled their strongest nihility god artifact and supreme grade ancestral artifact to attack the ghost devil race's experts. The ghost devil race's overall strength wasn't strong among the 9 demon races. They could be considered the weakest among the 9 demon races. They couldn't withstand Yi Chunfeng's attacks at all. In an instant, the ghost devil race's experts were mercilessly killed by Yi Chunfeng's group. Thick blood qi permeated the air, dyeing it red. Yin 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 yin. While Yi Chunfeng and the others were slaughtering the ghost devil experts, the progenitor dragon god appeared in front of the second warship, flying the flag of the brute devil race, and launched a fatal attack on Olone. With a single strike, the phantom of a great ancestor dragon emerged from the primordial dragon god's body, baring its fangs and brandishing its claws. It opened its bloody mouth and shattered the barbarian devil race's battleship's defense. Following that, the primordial dragon god unleashed his dragon domain, summoning 5 primordial ancestral dragons. They danced in the void, exuding boundless draconic might as they destroyed the barbarian devil race's battleship. Close to 100 barbarian devil race's experts were annihilated. Ku, peak of a nihility god realm. The primordial dragon god has really stepped into peak of the nihility god realm. Witnessing the scene of the progenitor dragon god destroying the brute devil race's warship, the 9 demon gods gulped and beads of sweat appeared on their foreheads. Although he was a great perfection ethereal god realm expert, the difference in strength between a great perfection ethereal god realm expert and a peak ethereal god realm expert was too great. Even if he had the devil race's greatest treasure, it would still be difficult for him to contend against the primordial dragon god. Retreat. Let's retreat quickly. Under the primordial dragon god's deterrence, the 9 demon gods made a prompt decision and ordered the remaining warships to retreat to avoid following in the footsteps of the ghost devil race and barbarian devil race's warships. Do you think you can escape? When enemies met, their eyes blazed with hatred. Looking at the fleeing devil race's warships, the phoenix god flew out of the ghost devil race's warship and transformed into a divine bird that was hundreds of feet long. Flapping its 5-colored wings, it chased after the devil race's warships at an extremely fast speed. It wanted to destroy the warships one by one and kill the devil race experts. Phoenix god, don't go too far. The 9 demon gods were enraged when the phoenix god attacked. They led the 5 patriarchs and more than a dozen ethereal god realm experts out of the warship and attacked the phoenix god together. Extreme speed. As the 9 demon gods and the others attacked, the phoenix god flapped its huge wings rapidly, stirring up a flaming hurricane. It attacked the 9 demon gods and the others in extremely fast speed. Seeing that the attacks from the 9 demon gods and the others were about to hit its huge divine fire body, the phoenix god's body suddenly shrunk and its flying speed increased by dozens of times. It dodged the attacks in an instant and attacked the 3 low-level ethereal gods of the devil race who were hiding at the back. Ah, ah, ah. As 3 painful screams were heard, the 3 low-level ethereal gods of the devil race, who could not dodge in time, were pierced by the phoenix god. In the blink of an eye, the phoenix god's divine fire melted their physical bodies and souls, turning them into ashes and dissipating in the air. Phoenix god, I swear that I'll turn you into ashes. After repeated attacks, the devil race was severely injured, and there were only a few ethereal gods left. The 9 demon gods could no longer bear such losses. They immediately summoned the 9 demon steels to suppress the entire void and slow down the phoenix god's flying speed. Primordial dragon seal, break. As the 9 demon gods controlled the 9 demon steels to suppress the phoenix god, the primordial dragon god appeared beside the phoenix god and spat out the dragon seal that was spiraling around the primordial dragon. It collided with the 9 demon steels that were suppressing the primordial dragon. Boom! The 2 ultimate treasures collided with each other. Dragon aura and demonic aura filled the entire space, destroying everything around them. Immortal Slayer Saber, slash. As the primordial dragon god resisted the 9 demon steel suppression, the 9 demon gods summoned the immortal Slayer Saber and slashed out a saber gleam that resembled the Milky Way. The saber gleam split the chaotic space and slashed toward the primordial dragon god with the power to destroy everything. The primordial dragon god did not dodge the immortal Slayer Saber's attack. Instead, it instantly threw out 3 punches. As the 3 punches were thrown out, they grew bigger and bigger. The fist gleams that evolved with Tao will seem to be nurturing 3 divine dragons. The terrifying power directly shattered the immortal Slayer Saber gleam and broke the 9 demon gods' attack. Phoenix wings soaring in the sky. The phoenix god let out a high-pitched roar. Instantly, it burned its powerful bloodline power and transformed into 3 lifelike phoenixes. It flapped its flaming wings and attacked the 5 patriarchs of the Ghost Devil race, Brute Devil race, Ward Devil race, Nether Devil race, and Myriad Devil race. 3 phoenix phantoms soared in the sky and attacked. The 5 demon clan patriarchs summoned their respective clan treasures at the same time and attacked with all their might, blocking the 3 phoenix phantoms. Just as they worked together to break the phoenix god's attack, the 9 demon gods were sent flying by the primordial dragon god's punch. They spat out a mouthful of blood in midair and flew back to the 5 patriarchs, forcefully interrupting their attacks. Demon gods, I didn't kill you last time. Let's see where you can run to this time. Yi Chenfeng roared. He brought the chaos divine beast, Shun Hungu, and the others with him to kill the devil race's almighties and weaken the devil race's overall strength. Let's go. We need to leave this place quickly. Under the desperate attacks of the 9 demonic gods, many of the devil warships had already fled. Unable to withstand the fierce attacks of Yi Chen-feng, the primordial dragon god, and the others, the 9 demonic gods, with blood trickling from the corners of his mouth, made a prompt decision to flee with the 5 patriarchs. Do you think you can escape? Yi Chen-feng sneered. He forcefully stopped the flow of time in a radius of several li, causing the 6 patriarchs' bodies to freeze in an instant. Chapter 21:16. 6 demons killing array. The threat of the primordial dragon god was too great. Without a choice, the 9 demonic gods summoned an array diagram that had mysterious runes flowing around it. When the 9 demonic gods merged with the array diagram, the 6 of them disappeared mysteriously. The only thing left in the sky was the 6 demons killing array diagram that was emitting a devouring black light. Chaos territory merge. As soon as the 6 demons killing array diagram appeared, Yi Chen-feng merged with the chaos territory in an instant. He forcefully raised his strength to over 100 billion jin. Wielding the myriad sword, he slashed forward with the man-weapon unity. Chi! Yi Chen-feng's unstoppable slash tore apart the killing runes that were emitted by the 6 demons killing array diagram. He stabbed the 6 demons killing array diagram in an attempt to shake it. However, the 6 demons killing array diagram was extremely powerful. The myriad sword's strength of over 100 billion jin and the supreme sword Dao's might could not shake it at all. Boom! The entire void trembled. Yi Chen-feng was sent flying by the explosive power of the 6 demons killing array diagram. He lost control of his body, and a stream of blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. Chen-feng, are you all right? Seeing that Yi Chen-feng was injured, the Phoenix god immediately came to his side. She gently supported his uncontrollable body and asked with concern, "Don't worry, Phoenix god. I'm fine." Yi Chen-feng took a deep breath and suppressed the surging blood in his body. "Leave this array to me." The primordial dragon god's pupil shrank. A deafening dragon roar came from his body. He transformed into his strongest battle form. Large amounts of dragon scales covered his entire body. At this moment, the primordial dragon god no longer looked like an old man. He had turned into an invincible dragon god. Boundless dragon aura swept across thousands of miles, making people worship him. Raising his strength to the extreme, the primordial dragon god transformed into a lifelike dragon shadow and attacked the rapidly rotating 6 demons killing array. He continuously shattered the killing runes emitted by the 6 demons killing array and clashed with the 6 demons killing array. Although the 6 demons killing array was powerful and combined with the attacks of the 9 demonic gods, the difference between the Great Void God Stage and Peak Void God Stage was like heaven and earth. If not for the fact that the 6 demons killing formation's level was too high, the progenitor dragon god could have easily killed the 9 demon gods and the others. A peak empty god is indeed powerful. I wonder how powerful an extreme empty god is. Yi Chen-feng muttered to himself as he watched the primordial dragon god take on the 6 demons killing formation by himself. He was disappointed by the primordial dragon god's strength. The battle between the primordial dragon god and the 6 demons killing formation became more and more intense, constantly destroying the space, shattering the earth, and razing large tracts of forest to the ground, alarming many of the devil world's almighty experts. Patriarch, this old fellow is too strong. Even if we borrow the 6 demons killing formation, I'm afraid we're not his match. The more the 9 demonic gods fought, the more shocked they became. The 6 demonic killing formation was unable to threaten the primordial dragon god at all. They were completely overwhelmed by the primordial dragon god's power. Ignite your blood chi and raise the power of the 6 demons killing formation to the maximum. Only by injuring that old fogey can we have a chance to escape. The 9 demon gods had thought of retreating a long time ago, but Yi Chen-feng had grasped the laws of time stop, and the threat of the progenitor dragon god was too great. They had no way of escaping, so they could only grit their teeth and endure. 111. Hearing the 9 demon gods' words, the 5 demon patriarchs could only grit their teeth and ignite their powerful blood chi, madly fusing it into the 6 demons' killing formation to repair the cracks and increase its power to fight the primordial dragon god head-on. Primordial dragon god, why don't you let me help you? As time passed, the phoenix god lost his patience and immediately flew to the primordial dragon god's side, spitting out scorching phoenix divine flames to attack the 6 demons' killing formation, pressuring the 9 demon gods and the others. Although the phoenix god was not as strong as the primordial dragon god, he could completely resist the counterattack of the 6 demons' killing formation. Slowly, more cracks appeared on the surface of the 6 demons' killing formation, and the pressure on the 6 demon gods increased. Everyone, listen to me. Fuse all your blood chi into the 6 demons' killing formation. I want to detonate the formation and give them a fatal blow. The 9 demon gods, whose injuries were getting worse and worse, transmitted, "Remember, when the formation explodes, run with all your strength." Yes. Although the 6 demons' killing formation was extremely valuable, they could not care less at this moment. They all nodded in agreement. Boom, boom, boom. The 6 demons' killing formation fused with the blood chi of the 6 demon gods and immediately erupted with its strongest power, instantly shattering the phoenix god and primordial dragon god's attacks and pushing them back dozens of meters. 6 demons' killing formation explode. The moment the primordial dragon god and phoenix god were pushed back, the 9 demon gods unleashed the 6 demons' killing formation and detonated it. Boom, boom, boom. The explosion of the 6 demons' killing formation instantly produced a world-destroying power that turned the space within dozens of miles into nothingness. The primordial dragon god and phoenix god were once again pushed back several thousand meters. Run! The moment the 6 demons' killing formation exploded, the 9 demon gods and the others burned their blood chi at all costs and fled into the distance. Time stopped. The moment the 9 demon gods and the others fled, a strange figure suddenly appeared and used time stop to forcibly freeze the bodies of the 9 demon gods and the others. However, in the space of destruction, Yi Chunfeng's time stop was greatly affected. In the end, he only managed to freeze the weakest ghost demon patriarch, allowing the 9 demon gods and the others to escape in the chaos. Myriad ghosts erode the sky. The ghost devil patriarch forcibly shattered the frozen space and split into tens of thousands of ghosts. He launched a fatal attack at Yi Chunfeng, who was blocking his path. He wanted to force Yi Chunfeng to retreat and escape. Desolate domain, sword domain, shatter. As the 10,000 ghosts attacked, Yi Chunfeng immediately opened his 2 domains. Borrowing the power of the 2 domains, he continuously shattered the ghosts that approached him and broke the ghost demon patriarch's attack. Blood escape. Seizing the opportunity when Yi Chunfeng broke the myriad ghosts erode the sky, the ghost demon patriarch immediately used blood escape to escape. At this time, Yi Chunfeng instantly merged the power of the 2 domains and used Soulless Sword to stab at the ghost demon patriarch, sealing off his escape route. When he forcibly broke through the Soulless Sword, the primordial dragon god and phoenix god appeared and intercepted him, causing him to fall into despair. Yi Chunfeng never showed mercy to his enemies. He didn't waste time talking nonsense with the ghost demon patriarch and immediately launched a fierce attack. Under the joint attack of Yi Chunfeng and the others, the ghost demon patriarch's resistance became weak and powerless. In an instant, his body was shattered and his soul was swallowed by the chaos divine beast. Let's go. We will go to the war demon clan and take away the wood origin power and 9 underworld demonic flames. Then we will leave the demon race. Although he obtained a complete victory, Yi Chunfeng didn't lower his guard. He knew that the demon race still had a Yama god that was not weaker than the primordial dragon god, so he didn't want to fight him too early. Under the war demon patriarch's lead, Yi Chunfeng's group rapidly flew towards the war demon mountain range. Roughly 3 days later, Yi Chunfeng's group arrived at the Sky Demon Mountain Range. They flew to the sky above the War Demon Ridge, where the mountain range stretched endlessly. Chapter 21:17. You want to stop us with mere formations? After breaking into the Battle Demon clan, ancient and profound formations appeared and attacked Yi Chunfeng and the others. Although the Battle Demon clan's restrictions were extremely powerful, to Yi Chunfeng and the others, it was not a threat at all. In less than an incense stick's worth of time, Yi Chunfeng and the others broke through all the formations. Yi Chunfeng and the others killed their way to the ancestral land of the Battle Demon clan. You really want to kill us all? The Battle Demon Patriarch, who had escaped into the ancestral land of the Battle Demon clan, looked at Yi Chunfeng and the others with bloodshot eyes, gnashing his teeth. From today onwards, the Battle Demon clan will no longer exist in the Void God world. Yi Chunfeng replied, overbearingly with his hands behind his back. After that, Yi Chunfeng and the others launched deadly attacks at the Battle Demon Patriarch and the others. In the battle just now, the Battle Demon clan suffered heavy casualties. The Battle Demon Patriarch knew that unless the Yama God appeared, the Battle Demon clan would most likely be annihilated. However, the Yama God had been in seclusion, waiting for the ancient Star Road to appear. It was impossible for him to appear, so they could only rely on themselves to resist the enemy. Ancestral Veins power fuse. The Battle Demon Patriarch, the two remaining supreme elders of the Battle Demon clan, and several other elders fused with a powerful ancestral vein to increase their strength. They wanted to borrow the power of the ancestral vein to resist Yi Chunfeng and the others. Battle Demon Diagram. Exterminate the enemy. When the Battle Demon Patriarch and the others fused with the ancestral vein, a profound battle diagram appeared above the ancestral land and attacked Yi Chunfeng and the others. Boom! When the War Demon diagram appeared, the first dragon god leaped into the air and launched a punch at the diagram. The punch, which seemed to contain the power of a divine dragon, shattered the War Demon diagram's attack as easily as crushing dry weeds and smashing rotten wood. It then landed on the War Demon diagram, causing cracks to appear on the diagram. While the first dragon god was fighting the Battle Demon diagram, the Phoenix god and the others were fighting the Battle Demon Patriarch and the others. Lore 9 Underworld Demon Fire. Quickly come out and help. The War Demon Patriarch had just fought with Yi Chunfeng and the others, so he knew how terrifying they were. He immediately awakened the 9 Underworld Demon Flame that was sleeping in the ancestral land. Kacha! Hearing the call of the War Demon Patriarch, the entire ancestral land trembled. A huge crack appeared, and a ball of demonic fire, as black as ink, appeared before everyone's eyes. The appearance of the 9 underworld demonic flames caused the temperature of the space to increase exponentially. Even the air was distorted by the flames. Screech, screech, screech. Seeing the sudden appearance of the 9 underworld demonic flame, the Phoenix god let out a cheerful cry. It ignored its enemy and launched a ferocious attack at the 9 underworld demonic flame. It wanted to devour the 9 underworld demonic flame to increase the power of the Phoenix Godfire and its own combat strength. Desolate Domain, Domain of Swords Destroy. Yi Chunfeng unleashed his 2 domains, enveloping the War Demon clan's almighties one after another. He used the might of the domains to kill them one by one. Under the attacks of the 2 domains, the War Demon clan's experts who had fused with the ancestral bloodline and resisted with all their might died one after another. Thick blood chi filled the air and turned into a bloody mist. Sigh. Looking at the scene before him, the War Demon who had transformed into a human form sighed softly in his heart. Although he had submitted to Yi Chunfeng, the blood of the War Demon clan still flowed in his body. He did not want to see what was happening before him. Would deity save my War Demon clan? Unable to resist the ferocious attacks of Yi Chunfeng and the others, the War Demon Patriarch used the War Demon clan's last resort and forcibly activated the Wood Origin power. Buzz, buzz, buzz. The eruption of the wood origin power instantly caused the depths of the ancestral land of the Ward Demon clan to collapse. A green ancient tree that was constantly growing in size broke out of the collapsed ground and propped up the entire world. The wood origin power. Looking at the ancient tree transformed from the wood origin power, Yi Qinfeng's eyes lit up. He summoned the chaos celestial characteristic and transformed it into the chaos divine wood to attack. Boom! The wood deity and the chaos divine wood collided, constantly tearing the space apart. The wood deity did not shake the chaos divine wood, and the chaos divine wood did not gain the upper hand. However, the stronger the wood origin power was, the happier Yi Qinfeng was. He had a feeling that once the chaos divine would devour the wood origin power, its power would increase by leaps and bounds. Perhaps the chaos celestial characteristic could break through the late empty god realm and reach the great empty god realm. War Demon Clan, quickly leave this place. The War Demon Patriarch did not expect that the wood deity could not save them. He immediately panicked and ordered the War Demon Clan to quickly retreat from the ancestral land. For the sake of the War Demon Clan, Yi Qinfeng did not kill them all and allowed them to escape. Kacha, while the War Demon Patriarch and the others were desperately resisting, the ancestral dragon god smashed the ancestral diagram and broke the War Demon Patriarch's last resort. With the ancestral diagram broken, the War Demon Patriarch and the others' morale fell to the bottom, greatly affecting their fighting strength. No! Just as the War Demon Clan's casualties were increasing, a terrified wail suddenly rang out. The Phoenix God relied on its absolute strength to completely suppress the 9 underworld demonic flames and continuously devoured it bit by bit, refining it rapidly. Rumble. Just as the War Demon Clan fell into despair, a pitch-black cloud suddenly appeared in the sky above the War Demon Clan. When the black cloud appeared in the center of the War Demon ancestral land, a giant hand suddenly broke out of the black cloud. It covered the sky and covered the sun and grabbed at Yi Qinfeng and the others. Hades God, you finally made your move. Looking at the giant hand that suddenly appeared, the ancestral dragon god's turbid eyes suddenly shot out rays of light. His entire body flew into the void and met the giant hand head-on. Boom! The dragon claw formed by the first dragon god collided with the giant hand that blotted out the sky, forming an oval halo of light that was infinitely enlarged in the chaotic void. Ancestral dragon god, do you really think that you can do whatever you want after breaking through to the peak empty god realm? Your actions will only bring disaster to the dragon clan. When the ancestral dragon god forcefully blocked the giant hand, an angry voice rang out from the black cloud. The ancient Star Road is about to appear. It's time to settle the grudge between us. The ancestral dragon god was not afraid of the Hades god's threat and said tit for tat. As he spoke, the phantom of a great ancestral dragon appeared from the ancestral dragon god's body and disappeared in the violently tumbling black cloud, breaking the energy left by the Hades god in the black cloud with one blow. Ancestral dragon god. This god will remember this grudge. When this god comes out of seclusion, this god will pay you back tenfold. The Hades god let out a final sound and disappeared with the shattered black cloud. The Hades god's attack from a distance was still unable to turn the tide and directly announced the fate of the War Demon Clan. Half a day later, the War Demon Clan leader and the others were all killed in battle. The 9 underworld demonic flames were also devoured by the Phoenix God. In the fierce battle with the Wood God, the Chaos Divine would obtained an overwhelming advantage. It used the Devour origin energy of Devour to madly devour the Wood origin energy. The Hades God was in seclusion and the 9 demon gods were defeated. When the Chaos Divine would devoured the Wood origin energy, no one in the demon clan dared to provoke it. After 3 days and 3 nights of devouring, the Chaos Divine would finally devour the Wood origin energy. Qinfeng, since the Hades God has discovered us, let's not continue to provoke him. When Yi Qinfeng retrieved the Chaos Divine Wood, the ancestral dragon god appeared beside him and softly advised, Senior, is the Hades god's current strength very terrifying? Looking at the ancestral dragon god's slightly solemn face, Yi Chunfeng asked. Yes. Although we only fought from a distance, I'm basically sure that the Hades god has reached the peak empty god realm like me. Moreover, I have a feeling that he's probably even further on the path to the peak than I am. The ancestral dragon god nodded. All right, in that case, let's go back. Chapter 21:18. Ascension Palace. Chunfeng, you guys are finally back. Did your trip go smoothly? When Yi Chunfeng and the others returned to the Ascension Palace, Sun-Chasing God and the others who were in charge of the residents immediately went out to welcome them. The trip went smoothly. By the way, Senior Chasing Sun, where are my parents? They haven't returned yet? Yi Chunfeng asked. Yes, your parents still need some time to rush back. Chasing Sun God said, but your father's side is also relatively smooth. He has successfully extracted the life origin energy. That's good. Yi Chunfeng nodded and relaxed. By the way, Senior Chasing Sun, did Yi Ming go to the Celestial Tribe with my father and the rest? Yes, not long after you went to the Demon Realm. Yi Ming broke through to the Six-Star Ancestor Realm and was brought to the Celestial Tribe to train by Wuji God. Chasing Sun God nodded. Senior Chasing Sun, you go ahead. I'll go check on Nick Hang and see how she's doing. With that, Yi Chunfeng came to the secret room where Nick Hang was cultivating. Yi Chunfeng did not want to disturb Nick Hang, but his appearance immediately awakened Nick Hang, who was cultivating. After this period of recuperation, Nichang's injuries had mostly recovered. She had also become elegant. She directly pulled Yi Chunfeng into the secret room and poured her heart out. As they spoke, the two of them hugged and kissed. The clothes on their bodies became less and less, composing a chapter of love. After returning to the Ascension Palace, Yi Chunfeng did not go out again. He focused all his energy on Nick Hang and the evolution of the Chaos aspect. The wood origin suppressed by the War Demon clan was very powerful. After the Chaos Divine would devoured it, it immediately allowed the Chaos aspect to evolve. Once the Chaos aspect evolved, Yi Chunfeng believed that the combat strength of the Chaos aspect would definitely surpass the late-stage Void God realm and reach the perfect Void God realm. About 2 months later, when the Chaos Dharma idol was halfway through its evolution, Yi Wuji, Shun Yao Tian, and the God of Life flew back on a golden-winged great pump. Chunfeng, I heard that you've turned the Devil World upside down. You've exterminated 2 clans of the Devil World, and even killed the Ghost Devil Patriarch. Although Yi Chunfeng had always been in the Tian clan, he still found out about what had happened in the Demon World through his own secret methods. He was very satisfied with Yi Chunfeng's battle achievements. Apart from that, I've also obtained 2 treasures from the Sky Demon Ruins. Yi Chunfeng smiled and took out the 8 worldly creation fruits and the profound heaven divine quintessence. Worldly creation fruit, mysterious heaven divine marrow. Looking at the 2 treasures that Yi Chunfeng summoned, Yi Wuji's eyes widened. His calm face was filled with excitement. The Red Sun Patriarch had not returned for a long time because he was looking for the worldly creation fruit. The mysterious heaven divine marrow was the main ingredient that Yi Wuji dreamed of refining the heaven-seizing supreme pill. Now that he had obtained these 2 main ingredients, Yi Wuji's chances of refining the heaven-seizing supreme pill would greatly increase. Aside from these 2 treasures, I have also suppressed the guardian beast of the gobbling demon clan, Tao Tai. Father, do you have a way to subdue it? With a thought, Yi Chunfeng summoned Tao Tai. Aha, Chunfeng, you're really surprising me more and more. As expected of my son, get Tao Tai to me. I'll make it acknowledge you as its master within a month. Yi Wuji laughed and said proudly. He was very satisfied with Yi Chunfeng. Early the next morning, Yi Wuji called Yi Chunfeng to the bedroom where he cultivated. Chunfeng, give me the God-eating brain and the devouring origin, Yi Wuji said in a low voice. I'll break the trap that Tai left in the God-eating brain. After I break the trap, we'll go to the lower plane to meet Tai and try to tame him. Father, what realm is Tai at? Yi Chunfeng had always wanted to know Tai's real strength. Tai's real strength should be at the complete empty God realm. He wants the primitive heart because he wants to use it to reach the peak of the empty God realm. Then, he won't be afraid of the human sovereign, Yi Wuji said. Is the human sovereign at the peak of the empty God realm? Yi Chenfeng gasped. He did not expect the human sovereign to be so secretive. The human sovereign is much more terrifying than you think. Otherwise, Tai wouldn't be so scared that he doesn't dare to return to the empty God realm. Yi Wuji said, Father, what's the relationship between Yu Huaxin and the human sovereign? Yi Chenfeng thought of Yu Huaxin and asked. Yu Huaxin should be a puppet cultivated by the human sovereign or a clone of the human sovereign. Yi Wuji guessed, All right, Chenfeng, although the Ren Huang is strong, our real enemy is still Shen Huang. According to my guess, in the entire Void God realm, he is probably the only one who has reached the pinnacle of the Void God realm. So, we must seize the opportunity when Shen Huang is still recovering from his injuries to improve our strength. Otherwise, once the ancient road of the starry sky appears, we will be in danger. Father, is the ancient road of the starry sky about to appear? Yi Chenfeng asked with his eyes wide open. According to my calculations, the ancient road of the starry sky should appear soon. Yi Wuji nodded. We don't have much time left. Okay, Chenfeng, you don't have to pay too much attention to the battle of gods. Everything depends on your effort. What you need to do now is to improve your strength and combat ability as soon as possible. I understand. When I go to the devil world, I'll let the chaotic divine would devour the origin of wood that was suppressed by the battle demon clan. When the chaotic divine would completely refines it, the chaotic celestial body should have the combat ability of the exceptional empty God realm. Yi Chenfeng nodded and said, Chenfeng, although the chaotic celestial body is powerful, it is just an external object. What you need to improve is your own combat ability. Moreover, the origin of wood alone is not enough to make the chaotic celestial body possess the combat ability of the exceptional empty God realm. Yi Wuji said, I can send you to a place to train for a while, but that place is very dangerous. With the resources I have, I can only send you there once. Where's this place? Yi Chenfeng raised his eyebrows. The creation space in the alternate universe. Yi Wuji said, but there are many creation creatures in the creation space. Each of them is very powerful. If you want to get the power of creation in the creation space, you have to keep killing them. Father, can I use the universe mirror to bring everyone to the creation space? Yi Chenfeng asked. No, the creation space is too far away from here. It is very difficult for me to send you there alone. If you bring others, it will be a bigger burden. So, if you decide to go to the creation space, you can only rely on yourself. Yi Wuji shook his head. Okay, then I will go to the creation space alone to cultivate. Yi Chenfeng took a deep breath and said firmly, Chenfeng, you have to remember that you only have one chance to go to the creation space. Once you are surrounded by the creation creatures, you will most likely lose your life. So, you must be fully prepared. Yi Wuji reminded him seriously. Don't worry, Father. I am confident that I can survive in the creation space. Yi Chenfeng said confidently. Okay, since you have made up your mind, I will open the space gate and send you to the creation space later. Yi Wuji said, Oh, Father, before I go to the creation space, can you help me refine this piece of divine metal into the universal origin sword? Although Yi Chenfeng had never been to the creation space, he knew how terrifying the creation energy was. He was prepared to upgrade the universal origin sword. Okay, no problem. Seeing that the divine metal in Yi Chenfeng's hand was of a high grade, Yi Wuji's eyes lit up and he agreed. Days passed by. Tai Yi had left a shocking secret in the God Eater's brain. Yi Wuji could not break it with the devouring origin energy. However, the universal origin sword and the divine metal were slowly fusing together with the little six paths. After fusing with the little six paths and devouring a large amount of weapon origin energy, the universal origin sword had undergone a qualitative change. Its attack power had almost reached the pinnacle of the void god weapons. It was almost on par with the creation divine weapons. The Chaos Dharma form had also refined the wood origin energy. However, as Yi Wuji had said, the Chaos Dharma form had devoured the wood origin energy. Although the Chaos Dharma form's combat power had undergone a qualitative change, it was still far from reaching the complete void god realm. Chengfeng, get ready. I will open the space gate and send you to the creation space. Chapter 2119. This is the creation space. After an unknown amount of teleportation, Yi Chunfeng entered a mysterious space. In this space, the sun, moon, and stars appeared in the sky at the same time. The ground was dark brown, and he could not see the end of it. Superpower mirror image. To be safe, Yi Chunfeng used his superpower mirror image and split into 3 mirror image avatars. One of the mirror image held a space teleportation talisman and hid underground. The other 2 mirror image avatars followed him and flew into the distant space to search for the creation spirits. As he flew, he realized that a mountain range had appeared in front of him. The mountain range stretched for miles, and the ancient trees were lush. It was very quiet, and there were thick clouds floating in the air. Danger! The moment Yi Chunfeng stepped into the forest, his sharp senses suddenly detected danger. The 2 thick, ancient trees around him transformed into human figures and launched a fatal attack at him. Creation spirits. Facing the attack of the 2 large treants, Yi Chunfeng used the sword steps to dodge rapidly. In an instant, his speed increased by 10 times, and he dodged the attack of the 2 large treants. Although he had dodged the attack, the strike of fortune from the 2 treants had still produced a terrifying rebounding force, which landed heavily on Yi Chunfeng's body and forced him to take 3 steps back. The blood and qi in his body were rolling violently. These creation spirits are indeed terrifying. Yi Chunfeng took a deep breath and suppressed the churning blood in his body. He had a clear understanding of the combat strength of the creation spirits. He felt that the combat strength of the creation spirits should be equivalent to that of a late empty god realm master. With his current combat strength, it would be troublesome for him to face more than 5 creation spirits. Let's end this quickly. In order to avoid attracting more creation spirits, Yi Chunfeng instantly opened up 2 realms and enveloped the 2 large creation spirits. He then launched a fatal attack at them. Equipment manipulation art. Yi Chunfeng entered the creation space. Although he could not bring any helpers, he borrowed the 10 empty god weapons. The moment he ignited his Hongmeng blood, he used the equipment manipulation art and activated the strongest power of the 10 empty god weapons. He attacked one of the creation spirits with ease. Boom, boom, boom. The power of the strongest attack of the 10 great void god artifacts was beyond imagination. The terrifying power directly shattered the attack of the spirit of fortune and landed on his body. The explosive power instantly shattered his body. When the creature of good fortune shattered, it immediately turned into a large amount of pure power of fortune that surged into Yi Chunfeng's body. Is this the power of creation? The energy is so pure. Yi Chunfeng's eyes lit up as he absorbed a large amount of creation energy into his body. He believed that if he could devour enough creation energy, he would definitely be able to enter the late empty god realm. When Yi Chunfeng used the 10 great void god artifacts to destroy one of the spirits of fortune, the other spirits of fortune launched a ferocious attack at Yi Chunfeng. The terrifying power of creation continued to shatter the power of the 2 domains, shaking Yi Chunfeng's body. Sword domain fuse. Destruction of gods. Tribulation of gods. After being continuously attacked by the spirits of fortune, Yi Chunfeng immediately fused the sword domain, raising the power of his sword Dao to the maximum. He executed the strongest attack that he had mastered, bombarding the spirits of fortune at close range. Boom! The spirits of fortune trembled. His body was directly shattered by the power of destruction of gods, turning into pure power of creation and fusing into his body. After fusing with the 2 spirits of fortune, Yi Chunfeng immediately swallowed the void god pellet that Yi Wuji had given him before he arrived. He was prepared to break through to the late empty god realm in the space of fortune. Two mirror image doppelgangers split up. Yi Qianfeng did not know how many spirits of fortune were hidden in the forest. To be safe, he ordered his two mirror image doppelgangers to fly to the east and west of the forest respectively. He wanted to disperse the spirits of fortune as much as possible. The two mirror image doppelgangers flew at an extremely fast speed for half an incense stick's time. Yi Qianfeng's expression changed slightly. He could clearly feel that his two mirror image doppelgangers had been severely damaged. There are so many spirits of fortune in this forest. The moment the two mirror image doppelgangers were shattered, Yi Qianfeng could clearly feel that at least 20 spirits of fortune had appeared in the forest. Facing the attacks of so many spirits of fortune, not to mention the two mirror image doppelgangers, even he himself could not withstand it. It seems that killing spirits of fortune is not as easy as I thought. Yi Qianfeng mumbled to himself. Danger! While flying, Yi Qianfeng suddenly felt the power of the seal. When he dodged the seal's attack, he realized that the ancient trees around him had all come alive and surrounded him. 13 spirits of fortune. Facing the joint attack of 13 spirits of fortune at the same time, Yi Qianfeng's expression changed instantly. Although he was powerful, he definitely could not withstand the joint attack of 13 spirits of fortune. Without thinking, he immediately broke through the encirclement towards the south. Boom, boom, boom. The moment Yi Qianfeng broke through the encirclement, the 13 spirits of fortune launched their attacks at the same time. The terrifying power of fortune instantly destroyed him, crazily destroying the primitive body. Double domain defense. At the critical moment, Yi Qianfeng opened up the power of two domains, using the primitive domain and the sword domain to block the attack of the spirits of fortune. However, the power of fortune was too terrifying. In the blink of an eye, the two domains that Yi Qianfeng opened up were shattered. The terrifying remaining power of fortune continued to tear through the domains, ruthlessly bombarding his body. If not for the fact that the primitive body was too strong, this attack would have been enough to shatter his physical body and kill him. Time stopped. Facing the remaining power of fortune head-on, Yi Qianfeng took a deep breath and forcefully stopped the flow of time around him. Following that, he merged the primitive domain and the sword domain, launching a fatal attack on the two spirits of fortune guarding the south. Ancestral Swords 3000 God-transforming fist. Yi Qianfeng's left hand executed the ancestral swords, while his right hand executed the 3000 God-transforming fist. The explosive power of the two supreme mystiques directly shattered the two spirits of fortune, creating an opening. In an instant, he merged the power of fortune from the two spirits of fortune. Yi Qianfeng immediately increased his speed to break through the encirclement. At this moment, the remaining 11 spirits of fortune worked together to shatter the time stop. They blocked his path at an extremely fast speed and continued to attack him ferociously. Fight! After failing to break through the encirclement, Yi Qianfeng gritted his teeth and quickly merged with the chaotic Dharma form and the heart of God. He raised his fighting power to the maximum, wielding the universal sword, and engaged in a fierce battle with the 11 spirits of fortune. Cosmos Sword Formation. In order to block the attacks of the 11 spirits of fortune, Yi Qianfeng quickly summoned more than 400 ancestral swords, forming a Cosmos Sword Formation around him. He tried his best to weaken the attacks of the 11 spirits of fortune. However, the power of fortune was too terrifying. In an instant, the Cosmos Sword Formation was shattered into pieces. Seizing the moment when the Cosmos Sword Formation was blocking the attacks, Yi Qianfeng merged the power of the two domains and continuously launched fatal attacks on one of the spirits of fortune. He tried his best to injure him severely. After killing one of the spirits of fortune, Yi Qianfeng's injuries worsened. However, he did not retreat. He forcefully performed the time stop, restricting the 10 spirits of fortune, and continued to launch fatal attacks on them. Just as Yi Qianfeng unleashed all his skills and killed 5 spirits of fortune, his primitive body was severely injured. Many parts of his body were pierced by the terrifying power of fortune, and he was drenched in blood. Chapter 21:20. Phew, the creation realm beings are too terrifying. Yi Chen-feng heaved a sigh of relief after returning to his original spot. He mumbled to himself with lingering fear. Without the space teleportation talisman that Tai Yi had given him, it would have been extremely difficult for him to break out of the encirclement. After returning to his original spot, Yi Chen-feng did not linger. He immediately left and found a relatively safe place to hide his aura. He hid underground and focused on refining the power of creation in his body. The power of creation was extremely vast. Even with Yi Chen-feng's abilities, it would take a long time for him to refine it. However, Yi Chen-feng had already thought of a way to speed up the refinement of the power of creation. He was multitasking. He merged the vast power of creation into his chaotic Dharma power and virtual God Sword Soul, using the power of creation to change them. Once the virtual God Sword Soul and chaotic Dharma power changed, Yi Chen-feng's combat strength would increase greatly. After about a month of refinement, Yi Chen-feng had basically refined the power of creation in his body. His abilities had increased tremendously. His chaotic Dharma power and virtual God Sword Soul had also changed. Sensing the benefits of the power of creation, Yi Chen-feng did not hesitate. He broke through the ground and once again entered the dangerous primeval forest to kill the creation realm beings. With his previous experience, Yi Chen-feng was much more careful when he entered the primeval forest. He also used his 2 mirror image clones to test the waters. Soon, the 2 mirror image clones were attacked by the creation realm beings who had transformed into boulders. This is my chance. Looking at the 3 beings of destiny attacking the mirror image clone, Yi Chen-feng immediately raised his battle prowess to the maximum. He wielded the myriad origin sword, which had fused with the godly metal and had an attack power that was more than 10 times stronger than before. Godless sword. As he stabbed out, the boundless sword aura shook the heavens and earth. The unparalleled power of the sword principle instantly tore through the space. The sword stabbed into the body of a creation realm being. More than 100,000 kilograms of power poured into his body, shattering it. Then, Yi Chen-feng instantly merged the 2 domains. Using the power of the 2 domains, he performed the 3,000 God-transforming fists with one hand and the 10,000 swords with the other, attacking the other 2 spirits of creation. After absorbing a large amount of the power of creation, Yi Chen-feng's battle prowess had soared by a few times. The attack unleashed by fusing the powers of the 2 great domains had dealt a fatal blow to the 2 creatures of creation. Boom! The 2 creatures of fortune were sent flying by Yi Chen-feng's supreme divine ability and were severely injured. Void God Sword Soul slash. Without giving the 2 creatures a chance to catch their breaths, Yi Chen-feng summoned the Void God Sword Spirit and launched a fatal attack at the 2 creatures. Their bodies were split open like lightning, killing them instantly. After killing the 3 creatures of creation at lightning speed, Yi Chen-feng's body was immediately fused with a large amount of the power of creation. After successfully killing the 3 creatures of creation, Yi Chen-feng immediately retracted his aura and hid himself, waiting for an opportunity to continue killing. While Yi Chen-feng was killing creatures of creation in the space of creation, Yi Wuji went deep into the Celestial Clan and used the most powerful method to continuously extract the origin energy of heaven and earth that the Celestial Clan had suppressed. This completely infuriated the Celestial Clan and shocked the entire Void God world. Yi Wuji attacked the Celestial Clan one after another, and a mysterious person also attacked the Celestial Clan. He forcefully extracted the origin energy of the Celestial Clan and fought with the leader of the Celestial Clan, Supreme Shintian. Before Yi Wuji appeared, Supreme Shintian was known as the #1 person in the Void God world. However, when he fought with the mysterious person, his body was split open by the mysterious person's sword, causing a huge commotion once again. Wuji, who do you think the mysterious person who suddenly attacked the Celestial Clan is? The god of life, who was wearing a red dress and had fair skin, exuded a mature charm. She personally poured a cup of spiritual tea for Yi Wuji and looked at his angular side profile as she asked softly, "If I'm not wrong, that person should be the human emperor." Yi Chenfeng took a sip of spiritual tea and said indifferently, "Human emperor?" He actually hid so deeply, thinking of the rumors of the mysterious person splitting Supreme Shen Tian with one sword. Shen Yao Tian said worriedly, "Wuji, if you fight with the human emperor, how confident are you in defeating him?" "If I don't use the power of the little six paths, I have a 30% chance of defeating him. However, if I use the little six paths, he will definitely lose." Yi Wuji replied domineeringly. "That's good." Hearing Yi Wuji's reply, Shen Yao Tian was relieved. "All right, Wuji, how's Chengfeng now? He's not in danger, right?" "Don't worry about Chengfeng. He is far more outstanding than we imagined. If everything goes well, when he returns, his strength will definitely undergo a qualitative leap." Speaking of Yi Chenfeng, Yi Wuji couldn't help but reveal a faint smile. As he spoke, Yi Wuji's expression suddenly changed. In the next moment, he mysteriously disappeared from the bedroom and appeared in the sky above the dazzling mansion. Looking at the sky covered by crimson clouds, an extremely strong desire to fight appeared in his eyes that were as deep as the ocean. "Shen Huang, you finally can't help but make a move?" Yi Wuji said with a high desire to fight. "Yi Wuji, you've gone too far. Do you really think that I can't kill you?" An ancient and powerful voice rang out in the crimson clouds, causing the entire space to tremble violently. "Shen Huang, if you can kill me, will you still hold back?" Yi Wuji smiled and said fearlessly, "Make your move. Let me see how much your strength has improved after holding back for so many years." "Yi Wuji, I swear that I will destroy you." Yi Wuji's words touched Shen Huang's wound, causing him to go crazy and enrage him. As he spoke, a gigantic hand that was hundreds of feet long broke out of the crimson clouds. It was like a mountain that covered the sky and the sun. It evolved into a vast sea of will and suppressed Yi Wuji. As the crimson hand pressed down, Yi Wuji's hands quickly twisted and condensed into a giant handprint that contained the will of life and death. He met it head-on. Boom! The two handprints collided in midair, instantly creating an endless destructive force that caused the space within a radius of dozens of miles to collapse. "Shen Huang, your strength is only SOSO." After breaking Shen Huang's attack with one strike, Yi Wuji let out a long and loud roar. He broke into the crimson clouds at an extremely fast speed and destroyed the mark that Shen Huang left in the clouds. Although there was only Shen Huang's mark in the crimson clouds, its power was terrifying. With Yi Wuji's combat ability, he fought fiercely for nearly half an hour before breaking the mark. At the same time, crimson clouds also appeared in the sky above the Kunlun Holy Land. Shen Huang left a mark in the air and attacked the Ren Huang in the depths of the Kunlun Holy Land. Although Shen Huang attacked from a distance and couldn't do anything to Yi Wuji and the Ren Huang, the strength that he displayed shocked the entire Void God realm and boosted the morale of the Divine Clan. "Wuji God, based on your observation, how much of Shen Huang's injury has recovered?" After witnessing the battle between Yi Wuji and Shen Huang's mark, Chasing Sun God and the others revealed heavy expressions. "If I'm not wrong, Shen Huang's injury is about to recover. He attacked from a distance this time to give me a warning not to go to the Divine Clan to cause trouble. Otherwise, he will do everything he can to kill me." Yi Wuji looked at the distant horizon and said in a low voice, "Wuji, what should we do next?" Shen Yao Tian asked worriedly. "Continue to look for the main ingredient for refining pills. As long as I reach the peak of the Void God realm, Shen Huang won't be a threat anymore. But we don't have enough resources to refine the heaven-seizing divine pill." Shen Yao Tian said, "I'm preparing to make a trip to the ancient clan. Maybe they have something that I need." Yi Wuji took a deep breath and said, "If there's no other way, I'll enter the divine clan again. With the protection of the little six paths, even Shen Huang's true form won't be able to kill me." Chapter 21:21 Time flew by, and 3 years passed in the blink of an eye. In these 3 years, Yi Qinfeng had a narrow escape and killed close to 100 creatures of creation. Through his cultivation, he integrated the boundless power of creation into his body and reached the bottleneck of his realm. His chaotic Dharma power was also on the verge of transforming. Sword Soul, transform. Yi Qinfeng, who was covered in blood, hid underground and integrated a large amount of power of creation into his Sword Soul. After integrating a large amount of power of creation, his Sword Soul underwent a qualitative transformation and transformed into a creation Sword Soul. Its power was comparable to a creation divine weapon. The transformation of the Sword Soul greatly increased Yi Qinfeng's fighting strength. He adjusted his breathing for a while, and once again charged into the primeval forest where a large number of creatures of creation were hidden. He hunted them down in the depths of the forest. The deeper he went, the stronger the fighting strength of the creatures of creation became. Yi Qinfeng knew that he was in great danger. Oh no, there are 10 creatures of creation. When Yi Qinfeng sneaked into a secluded mountain valley, he accidentally triggered the restrictions in the valley. Then, with his sharp senses, he discovered 10 terrifyingly powerful beings of creation in the depths of the valley. One of them was almost at the great perfection of the empty god realm, which posed a fatal threat to Yi Qinfeng. However, after more than 3 years of life and death experience, Yi Qinfeng's heart had also undergone a huge transformation. He didn't back down and controlled the creation sword spirit to fuse into the universal origin sword as he faced the 10 great creatures of creation. Weapon controlling art. When Yi Qinfeng got close to the 10 spirits of creation, he immediately summoned the 10 great void god artifacts. Using the way of equipment manipulation, he activated the divine imprints on the 10 great void god artifacts. In an instant, the power of the 10 great void god artifacts was raised to the maximum. He launched the 10 great void god artifacts at the 3 spirits of creation that resembled tree gods. The creatures of creation were highly intelligent. They could sense the terror of the 10 empty god weapons and instinctively wanted to dodge. At that moment, the extremely fast Yi Qinfeng closed in on the 3 creatures of destiny. He used time stop and forcefully froze the entire space. The 3 creatures of destiny were locked in place, making it impossible for them to dodge. In the blink of an eye, the 10 empty god weapons had arrived. The terrifying might of the empty god weapons pierced through the bodies of the 3 beings of creation, injuring them severely. Chaos Divine Wood, devour! Yi Qinfeng summoned the Chaos Divine Wood and released the power of chaos without waiting for the 3 creatures to escape. It pressed down on the heavily injured bodies of the 3 great creatures of fortune, forcibly shattering them and crazily devouring the power of fortune in their bodies. In the blink of an eye, he had killed 3 of the creatures of destiny. The attacks of the 7 creatures of destiny swept over and sealed off the entire space, making it impossible for him to escape. At the critical moment, Yi Qinfeng opened up his 2 domains and used the power of his 2 domains to withstand the attacks of the 7 creation realm beings. Boom, boom, boom. Sounds of explosions rang out on the surface of the 2 domains. Facing the attacks of the 7 creation realm beings, Yi Qinfeng's 2 domains were forcefully shattered. In the instant that Yi Qinfeng used the 2 domains to block the attacks, he dodged the remaining force and appeared in midair. Swish! Yi Qinfeng took in a deep breath. His entire body fused with the universal origin sword as he launched an attack on the 7 creation realm beings. The universal origin sword had fused with the creation sword soul. Its power surpassed that of ordinary creation realm divine weapons and posed a fatal threat to the creation realm beings. With a single sword strike, one of the creation realm beings who could not dodge in time was pierced through by Yi Qinfeng's sword. However, the attacks of the creation realm beings were impossible to defend against. The moment he pierced through the creation realm beings, he was attacked by the other 6 creation realm beings. His entire body was sent flying and landed heavily in the distance, breaking a thick ancient tree. Chaos Divine would devour. Yi Chunfeng, who was covered in blood, crawled up and controlled the Chaos Divine would to suppress the creation realm being who had just been pierced through by the universal origin sword. Then, the Chaos Divine would started to devour him. In an instant, this creation realm being started to wither. In the end, he was swallowed by the Chaos Divine wood. After devouring 4 creation realm beings consecutively and increasing the speed of the Chaos Divine wood's transformation, Yi Chunfeng recalled the Chaos Divine wood with a thought. He fused with the Chaos Divine wood and increased his battle strength to engage in an intense battle with the remaining creation realm beings. The attacks of the creation realm beings were extremely powerful. This was especially so for the creation realm beings who were close to the great perfection of the Void God realm. They dealt great damage to Yi Chunfeng, continuously damaging his desolate body and dealing fatal blows to him. Yi Chunfeng's injuries became more and more severe, but he did not retreat. He gritted his teeth and bitterly persevered. He fought fiercely against the 6 great creatures of creation. He also did his best to destroy 3 of them, allowing the Chaos Divine would to devour them all. Kacha. After devouring 7 creation realm beings consecutively, the mottled bark of the Chaos Divine would begin to fall off and new bark grew. Although the new bark was not as thick as the old bark, mysterious divine patterns appeared on the surface of the new bark. The Chaos Divine would nurtured also became more terrifying. Desolate domain, sword domain fuse. Sensing that the Chaos Divine wood was about to transform, the severely injured Yi Chunfeng took a deep breath. He did not retreat. He forcefully fused the powers of the 2 domains and used his body to perform the Sex Summoning Sword. His left hand performed the 3,000 God-transforming fist while his right hand blasted out the God-destroying blow. He launched a fatal attack on the 3 creation realm beings. Boom! The 3 supreme mystiques blasted out at the same time. Yi Chunfeng's divine power was instantly depleted. The terrifying supreme mystique shattered the entire space and ruthlessly bombarded the 3 creation realm beings. In an instant, 2 creation realm beings were severely injured and the strongest creation realm being was pushed back a few hundred meters. Yi Chunfeng burned his primordial blood and had limitless divine power. However, using 3 supreme mystiques at the same time still caused him to feel drained in a short period of time. Despite being in danger, Yi Chunfeng still did not retreat. He immediately summoned the Chaos Divine wood and suppressed the 2 creation realm beings whose bodies had been destroyed. He frantically devoured them. Rumble! While the Chaos Divine wood was frantically devouring the 2 creation realm beings, the strongest creation realm being flew over and continuously launched fatal attacks on Yi Chunfeng. It wanted to take advantage of Yi Chunfeng's weakness to kill him. Facing the strongest creation realm being's attack, Yi Chunfeng could not retaliate at all. He could only rely on his speed to dodge. Seeing that Yi Chunfeng could not hold on any longer, the Chaos Divine wood that had devoured the 2 creation realm beings completed its final transformation. It allowed the Chaos Divine wood to possess the combat power of the perfect Void God realm. Chaos Divine wood, destroy him for me. With a thought, Yi Chunfeng controlled the Chaos Divine wood to transform into the Chaos Divine wood and charged over. It engaged in a fierce battle with the strongest creation realm being. The transformation of the Chaos Divine would cause the Chaos Divine wood's combat power to increase by almost 100 times. In addition to its indestructible body, it instantly suppressed the strongest creation realm being and forced him to retreat continuously. Soon, under the attacks of the Chaos Divine wood, the strongest creation realm being's body was destroyed. It turned into pure power of creation and merged with Yi Chunfeng's body. After killing the 10 creation realm beings, the Chaos Divine would completed its transformation. Yi Chunfeng, who was severely injured, immediately found a safe place and hid underground. He quickly refined the power of creation that had merged with his body. About a month passed. Yi Chunfeng, who was hiding underground, had completely healed his injuries and refined all the power of creation that had merged with his body. After refining all the power of creation, Yi Qianfeng frowned. He realized that his chaotic body had developed a strong resistance against the power of creation. The lowest level of power of creation could no longer increase his combat power. It is indeed difficult to break through to the later stage of the empty God realm. It seems that I have to go deeper and hunt down high-level creation realm beings. Only then can I use the power of creation to break through to the later stage of the empty God realm. Chapter 21-22. Destroy. Yi Qianfeng roared as his entire body merged with the universal origin sword. He killed 3 spirits of creation in a single strike and merged a large amount of creation power into it. This was because the ordinary power of creation was no longer of any use to Yi Qianfeng. Thus, he fused all the power of creation that had entered his body into his Chaos Dharma idol, increasing its battle prowess. After killing 3 spirits of creation in a single strike, Yi Qianfeng continued to go deeper into the forest without slowing down. Because the Chaos Dharma power had completed its transformation, Yi Qianfeng's fighting strength increased rapidly. Ordinary spirits of creation were no longer a threat to him. Soon, he flew to the deepest part of the forest and discovered a spirit of creation that was close to 30 feet tall. He was completely golden and held a huge axe. His fighting strength was at the peak of the great void god realm. Besides this golden spirit of creation, Yi Qianfeng also discovered more than 10 spirits of creation that were close to the great void god realm. Could this be the spirit of Creation King? Looking at the golden spirit of creation in front of him, Yi Qianfeng's eyes lit up. He had a feeling that if he could kill this spirit of Creation King, he would be able to enter the later stage of the great void god realm. Then, he would be able to return to the great void god realm. Let's fight. Yi Qianfeng took a deep breath and merged with the Chaos Dharma power in an instant. He raised his fighting strength to the maximum and attacked the spirit of Creation King. Yi Qianfeng's attack startled the spirits of creation around the spirit of Creation King, causing them to attack Yi Qianfeng. However, Yi Qianfeng was no longer the same as before. He had merged with the Chaos Dharma power, the heart of God, and burned his Hongmeng blood. His fighting strength was close to the great void god realm, and he easily blocked the attacks of more than 10 spirits of creation. Just as Yi Qianfeng's sword was about to strike the spirit of Creation King at lightning speed, the spirit of Creation King swung his huge axe. It was as though he was swinging a huge mountain as he attacked Yi Qianfeng with the power of heaven and earth. Boom! With the myriad origin sword in hand, Yi Qianfeng took the blow head-on. His body trembled violently as he was knocked back several hundred meters by the giant axe. Creation Sword Spirit Slash. Yi Qianfeng was pushed back by the Creation Spirit King, but he did not slow down his attacks. With a thought, he controlled the Sword Spirit to break out of the sea of soul and slashed at the 2 Creation Spirit Kings that were flying toward him. With one slash, the 2 Creation Spirit Kings were pushed back. While Yi Qianfeng was engaged in a fierce battle with the Spiritualist King at the end of the forest, Yi Wuji, who had gone to the ancient clan, returned to his residence. Although he had obtained a few of the main ingredients for refining pills from the ancient race, his expression became increasingly solemn. What's wrong, Wuji? What happened in the ancient race? Seeing that Yi Wuji had returned with a heavy heart, chasing Sun God, and the others immediately stepped forward and asked with concern. Sai, according to clan leader Gu, the ancient road of stars might appear in the next 10 years. Yi Wuji sighed softly. Originally, according to his calculations, the ancient road of stars would appear in 100 years. But now, the ancient road of stars had appeared more than 90 years earlier, completely messing up his plans. What? The ancient road of stars is appearing so soon. Hearing this news, chasing Sun God and the others' expressions turned solemn. Although Yi Wuji's strength was terrifying and he had refined the little 6 paths, there was still a huge gap between him and the divine glory that had been hiding. If the ancient road of stars appeared at this time, the divine glory would undoubtedly obtain the greatest opportunity from the ancient road of stars. At that time, they would really be in danger. Clan leader Gu also told me something more important. According to his calculations, the appearance of the ancient road of stars this time is very likely to give me an opportunity to become a god. Yi Wuji revealed another important piece of information. This, Wuji, do you think Gu Qianqiu's calculations are correct? Chasing Sun God and the others gasped. I had some doubts at first, but the ancient clan once obtained a compass on the ancient road of stars. Clan leader Gu used that compass to make his calculations. Yi Wuji said, I also saw that compass and tried to calculate it. Clan leader Gu's calculations should be correct. Could it be that even the heavens are helping the divine clan? Chasing Sun God, Shun Yaotian, and the others' expressions became more and more solemn. They were very clear that once the divine glory became a god, there would be no place for them in the void god realm. All the clans would be swallowed up by the divine clan. We should still have a chance. As long as we refine the heaven-seizing supreme pill before the ancient road of stars appears and allow me to break through to the extreme void god realm, I'll be able to destroy the divine glory scheme. Yi Wuji took a deep breath and said, Wuji, have you gathered all the main ingredients for the heaven-seizing supreme pill from the ancient clan? The god of life asked. I still haven't found the rootless holy water, but clan leader Gu told me that Tai has it. Yi Wuji said, then let's not delay any longer. Let's go to the lower realm to find Tai. Time was of the essence, and Shun Yaotian did not want to waste any more time. So she urged, okay, I'll call Chung Feng back now. Although the opportunity to train in the creation space was rare, they did not have much time to waste. Yi Wuji immediately took out his communication pearl and sent a message to Yi Chunfeng, who was bathed in blood, to call him back. At this time, Yi Chunfeng and the Creation Being King's battle had reached the climax. The Creation Being King's subordinates had all been killed by Yi Chunfeng. 10,000 swords, 3,000 god-transforming fists. Although he was severely injured, Yi Chunfeng did not retreat. He continued to use the two supreme superpowers to attack the Creation Being King, doing his best to worsen his injuries. Yi Chunfeng's attacks were ferocious, but the Creation Being King's attacks were equally terrifying. His attacks, which were enough to kill a late Void God Realm expert, continuously landed on the Chaos Being King. If not for the fact that the Chaos Dharma form had completed its transformation and had the battle strength of a great Void God, Yi Chunfeng would not have been able to hold on. I don't believe that I can't kill you. Yi Chunfeng wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, gritted his teeth, and continued to attack the Spirit King. He pressed forward bravely, and his unrelenting attacks slowly suppressed the Spirit King, forcing him to retreat. Roar, roar, roar. The Creation Being King was completely enraged when his attacks were suppressed. He opened his mouth and let out a ferocious roar, attacking Yi Chunfeng with all his might. This is my chance. When the Creation Being King attacked with all his might, Yi Chunfeng seized this fleeting opportunity. He instantly stopped time and used the way of weapon control that he had not used before, controlling the 10 Void God weapons to launch a fatal attack on the Creation Being King. Sensing the danger, the Creation Being King shattered the forbidden space. However, his injuries were too severe. Moreover, he had just used his strongest attack, causing his body to pause momentarily. He could not dodge the 10 Void God weapons that were right in front of him. Boom, boom, boom. 10 deafening explosions sounded on the surface of the Creation Being King's body as the terrifying attacks continued to shatter his body. It's over. 2 realms merge. 3 supreme superpowers. As the Spirit King of Creation's body continued to shatter, Yi Chunfeng ignored his injuries and unleashed 3 supreme divine abilities. They bombarded the Spirit King of Creation's shattered body, destroying his powerful body and killing him. After killing the Creation Being King, a large amount of creation energy entered Yi Chunfeng's body, helping Yi Chunfeng to break through the bottleneck of his cultivation base and reach the late Void God realm. His physical body's strength increased to 30 trillion gene, and his battle strength increased by almost 100 times. It's time to go back. Chapter 21-23. Late Stage, Empty God Realm. Looks like you killed a lot of creatures in the creation space. Seeing Yi Chunfeng walk out of the space gate, Yi Wuji sensed his cultivation level and smiled with satisfaction. Here, take this God-Eater brain. With a thought, Yi Wuji summoned the God-Eater brain and returned it to Yi Chunfeng. Father, you broke the trick tie he left in the God-Eater brain. The God-eating brains help to Yi Chunfeng was self-evident. Looking at the God-eating brain, Yi Chunfeng was secretly delighted. Not yet, but the trick tie he left in the God-Eater brain is no longer a threat to you. I can break it with just a thought. Yi Wuji shook his head. Father, are you going to trick Tai Yi? Yi Chunfeng raised his eyebrows and guessed Yi Wuji's plan. That's right. I want to use this primitive heart to control Tai Yi and subdue him by force. Yi Wuji nodded and said, Chunfeng, have a good rest. Tomorrow morning, we will return to the Duhun continent. The mysterious sea was the most mysterious and largest sea in the Central World. It was vast and boundless, hiding countless secrets. Princess, this mysterious sea is too dangerous. We can't go any deeper. A Nirvana old man in a linen robe, with white hair and a face full of vicissitudes of life, was following a girl in green closely and trying to persuade her. What are you afraid of? Sword Elder, with your protection, how can the demonic beasts in the mysterious sea hurt me? The girl in green said with a smile. Sigh, Princess, don't underestimate this mysterious sea. Even Nirvana realm cultivators don't dare to go deep into the mysterious sea, let alone me. The old man in linen robe sighed softly and continued to persuade her helplessly. All right. We will go another 100 nautical miles. If we don't find anything else, we will go back. The girl in green said dispiritedly. She continued to swim deeper into the mysterious sea, looking for opportunities at the bottom of the sea. What is that? As she flew, the girl in green suddenly saw a faint white light in front of her. She was delighted and immediately swam over. This is the deep-sea holy fruit. Near the white light, the woman in the green dress was pleasantly surprised to find a small tree growing in a pile of rocks at the bottom of the sea. There were 3 fruits on the tree that were emitting faint white light. Seeing the 3 fruits, the woman in the green dress was overjoyed. She immediately wanted to pick the 3 deep sea saint fruits. Oh no, there's danger! When the woman in the green dress approached the 3 deep sea holy fruits, the linen-robed old man suddenly sensed danger under the rubble. His face changed slightly, and he immediately summoned 3 extremely sharp holy swords and attacked at an extremely fast speed. The old man's reaction was extremely fast, but the demon beast hiding under the rubble and guarding the 3 deep-sea holy fruits was even faster. With a deafening beast roar, a dragon turtle with a dragon head, a tortoise body, and limbs as thick as pillars shattered the rocks. It opened its bloody mouth and bit at the woman in the green dress, whose expression changed slightly. In the blink of an eye, the dragon turtle bit the woman in the green dress. However, in the next moment, a jade-green crystal on the woman's neck suddenly exploded. A terrifying force radiated from the crystal, directly shattering the dragon turtle's head and turning its tough body into a bloody mist. Princess, are you all right? The old man in the green dress immediately came to her side and asked in concern when he saw the woman in the green dress stunned by what had just happened. I am fine. The woman in the green dress gulped and said with lingering fear, Princess, it's too dangerous here. Let's leave quickly. The old man in the green dress took the 3 deep-sea holy fruits and was about to leave with the frightened woman in the green dress. Roar, roar, roar. Suddenly, a series of deafening beast roars rang out. Many demon beasts living in the mysterious sea were attracted by the powerful smell of blood from the dragon turtle's body. They surrounded the woman in the green dress and the old man in the green dress. 3 sacred beasts. Seeing the appearance of the 3 sacred beasts, the old man in the green dress's expression changed slightly. He sent a voice transmission to the woman in the green dress. Princess, I'll try my best to tear open the gap later. Don't worry about me and leave quickly. Try your best to swim to the surface. You'll be safe as long as you can swim to the surface. But Sword Elder, what will you do if I escape? The woman in the green dress knew that her willfulness had brought her a lot of trouble. She was filled with regret and said with tears in her eyes, "Don't worry, princess. I'm a Nirvana Almighty. How can such demon beasts threaten my life?" The old man in the green dress comforted her softly. However, he was thinking that he would definitely die. "But, princess, there are no buts. If you don't escape now, you and I will be trapped here until we die." The old man in the green dress urged anxiously. Roar, roar, roar. While they were communicating, the ferocious demon beasts attacked the woman in the green dress and the old man in the green dress ferociously. "Princess, run quickly." The ferocious demon beasts attacked. The old man in the green dress instantly burned his powerful blood and chi. He controlled the 3 sacred swords and attacked the demon beasts one by one. He wanted to use all his strength to tear open a gap and let the woman in the green dress escape. The old man in the green dress's full strength attack was very powerful. However, there were too many demon beasts surrounding them. Under one attack, 2 demon beasts were killed. However, the gap that had just been opened was immediately sealed by the other demon beasts, making it impossible for the woman in the green dress to escape. Smelling the smell of blood, the demon beasts in the sea became more ferocious. They crazily attacked the woman in the green dress and the old man in the green dress, causing them to be in danger. Just as the old man in the green dress was about to explode himself to open a way for the woman in the green dress, he suddenly felt that the space around him had solidified. The 3 demon beasts that opened their bloody mouths to bite him were frozen in the sea. However, he could clearly see the sharp fangs of the 3 demon beasts. What's wrong? Not only were the demon beasts unable to move, but the old man in the green dress also found that he couldn't move. Just as his face was filled with fear, he suddenly saw the bodies of the ferocious demon beasts explode, turning into clouds of bloody mist. The old man in the green dress and the woman in the green dress felt their bodies lighten. They disappeared into the blood-stained sea and appeared under a beautiful coral reef. "Are you all right?" Looking at the frightened woman in the green dress and the old man in the green dress, a tall and handsome man in a white robe smiled faintly and asked softly, "You saved us." The woman in the green dress, who had regained her senses, looked at the familiar face of the man in the white robe. She let out a long sigh of relief and said gratefully, "Yes, we saved you." The man in the white robe nodded. He looked at the woman in the green dress. Her face was smooth, her lips were like cherry blossoms, and her eyebrows were like ink paintings. She was as beautiful as the autumn waters. She was indescribably delicate, and there was a pure vitality to her. He asked, "By the way, what's your name?" "My name is Yi Tiana," the woman in the green dress said sweetly. "Yi Tiana." The man in the white robe's emotions clearly changed. "Is your mother Shui Hanyin?" "Uncle, you know my mother?" The woman in the green dress widened her beautiful eyes and asked in surprise. The old man in the green dress, however, looked alert. He kept sizing up Yi Chenfeng. "I know her, because I'm your father." The man in the white robe nodded and said. Chapter 21-24. "You're my father." Yi Tianer was confused. The old man in the linen robe was shocked. He said respectfully, "You're the sword god, your majesty." "Yes, I'm Yi Chenfeng." Yi Chenfeng nodded. "Greetings, your majesty, sword god." The old man in the linen robe had seen Yi Chenfeng's portrait before. Coupled with his unfathomable strength in his face that looked similar to Yi Tianer's, he was sure of Yi Chenfeng's identity. He knelt on the ground and bowed respectfully. "Chenfeng, this is my granddaughter." Shen Yao Tian was overjoyed when she found out that Yi Tian was Yi Chenfeng's daughter. She immediately went to Yi Tian, Oi's side, and gently held her hand. The more she looked at her, the more she liked her. You're really my father." Yi Tian could not accept this fact for a while. However, when she looked at Yi Chenfeng, she felt a strong bloodline connection. "Yes, I'm your father." Yi Chenfeng nodded. He looked at Yi Tian dotingly and said, "If you don't believe me, You'll know when you return to the Nine-Sword Palace with me. After confirming Yi Chenfeng and Yi Tian-er's identities, Yi Wuji, Shun Yao Tian, and Yu Yiming spoiled Yi Tian-er. Even Yu Nikhang and Xia Wenyi did not blame Yi Chenfeng. Instead, they looked at Yi Tian-er with tender eyes. Tian-er, Sword 9, come with us to meet someone. After that, we'll return to the Nine-Sword Palace together. Yi Chenfeng was worried about letting Yi Tian-er and Sword 9 go back first, so he kept them by his side. He crossed the vast sea and flew toward the mysterious space where Tai was cultivating. What a fast speed! Father, what realm are you in? Being in Yi Chenfeng's embrace and feeling the lightning-fast speed, Yi Tian-er said excitedly, "You must be really strong. I just broke through to the late stage of the virtual god realm." Yi Chenfeng smiled and said dotingly, "What's the late stage of the virtual god realm? How powerful is he?" Yi Tian did not know much about the void god realm, so she did not know how terrifying a late-stage void god was. Yi Chenfeng said with a smile, "I can pierce through the entire Duhan continent with a single full-powered strike." Really? Yi Tian sucked in a cold breath. The Duhan continent was billions of miles wide. Yi Tian dared not imagine how powerful Yi Chenfeng's attack was. Of course, Yi Chenfeng gently stroked Yi Tian's head. Around 2 hours later, Yi Chenfeng and the others arrived at Tai Yi's mysterious space. Before Yi Chenfeng could say anything, a crack appeared in mysterious space. Tai Yi's voice rang out. "Wuji God, Heavenly Jade God, Life God, long time no see. Yes, it has indeed been countless years since we last met." Yi Wuji walked into the mysterious space and looked at Tai Yi, who was sitting cross-legged on a cloud. He was wearing a white robe and looked like an immortal. "Brother Tai Yi, would you like to guess why our family is here?" "We don't have good intentions," Tai Yi said calmly. "Why do you say that, Brother Tai Yi?" Yi Wuji smiled and said, "We're here to tell you 3 important pieces of information." "What information?" Tai Yi asked calmly. "Within 10 years, the ancient star road will appear in the void god world," Yi Wuji said. "Really?" Tai Yi couldn't stay calm after hearing this news. "Absolutely," Yi Wuji nodded and said, "The second piece of information is that Shen Huang is about to come out of seclusion." Shen Huang really didn't die. Tai Yi knew how terrifying Shen Huang was. He couldn't help but look serious. Tai Yi thought for a moment and asked, "What's the third piece of information?" "There might be an opportunity to become a god on the ancient star road this time," Yi Wuji said shockingly. "It's true," Tai Yi said, losing his composure. Even Yi Chenfeng looked at Yi Wuji. "Yes, this was calculated by Qinggu Qiu." Yi Wuji nodded and said, "Brother Tai Yi, you've been quiet for so many years. Isn't it time for you to return to the void god world?" "Yi Wuji, don't tell me you want me to help you get the opportunity to become a god," Tai Yi said unkindly. "That's right. What do you think, Brother Tai Yi?" Yi Wuji nodded and said, Yi Wuji, aren't you overestimating yourself? What's the relationship between you and me? Why should I take such a big risk to help you become a god?" Tai Yi snorted and said rudely, "Because I have a better chance of becoming a god than you do. Also, I can help you take revenge on the human emperor. I can also promise you that if I become a god, I'll give you a world," Yi Wuji said patiently. "Not interested." Tai Yi shook his head and refused directly. "What if I give this great chaos heart to you?" Yi Wuji had expected Tai Yi to refuse, so he wasn't angry. With a thought, he summoned the heavy, great chaos heart. "You really have the great chaos heart." Looking at the great chaos heart in Yi Wuji's hand, Tai Yi's eyes lit up. If he could get the great chaos heart, he could use the power of the great chaos heart to reach the peak of the empty god realm. However, thinking of Yi Wuji's methods, he suppressed his greed and said, "Yi Wuji, if I'm not wrong, you did something to the great chaos heart, right?" "Tai Yi, you're too weak. You've already lost the heart to become a god. Why are you still so stubborn?" Yi Wuji shook his head and said, "You were so scared by the human emperor that you didn't dare to return to the empty god realm for hundreds of thousands of years. Now that you're faced with the opportunity to break through to the peak of the empty god realm, you don't dare to take it. Tell me, with your cowardice, how can you become a god? Oomph, I don't need you to worry about me. After Yiwuji said that, Tai flew into a rage out of humiliation. All right, Tai, let's not beat around the bush. I did do something to the great chaos heart, but you also did something to my son's god-eater brain. Yiwuji said, how about we make a deal? I'll undo the trick in the great chaos heart, and you'll undo the trick in the god-eater brain. Okay, let me think about it. Tai looked Yiwuji up and down, lost in thought. All right, first, break the hidden hand in the great Desolate's heart and give it to me. If I can refine it and confirm that there are no problems, I will release the hidden hand in the god-eater's brain and give it to your son. The temptation of breaking through to the peak of the empty god realm was too great. After thinking about it, Tai decided to take the risk and finally agreed. Okay. Yiwuji nodded and forcefully undid the trick in the great chaos heart. Yiwuji, you're really capable. You actually left 36 restrictions in the great chaos heart. Tai said with a gloomy face as he watched Yiwuji undoing the trick in the great chaos heart. You're also capable. I can't undo the trick in the god-eater brain. Yiwuji snorted and said, all right, I'll give you the great chaos heart. I hope you'll keep your word. Don't worry. Taking the great chaos heart, Tai couldn't help but look excited. He immediately dripped his blood on the great chaos heart and tried to communicate with it. After merging with Tai's blood, the great chaos heart immediately established a connection with him. After confirming it repeatedly, he found that there was no problem with the great chaos heart and merged it into his body. The moment the great chaos heart completely merged with his body, Tai's expression changed. He glared at Yiwuji, who looked calm, and said, Yiwuji, you despicable man. You lied to me. I lied to you. What can you do about it? Chapter 21-25. Yiwuji, don't you call yourself an invincible hero? How could you do such a despicable thing? His life spirit was gradually being controlled by Yiwuji. Tai panicked and attacked Yiwuji like a madman. However, Tai's combat ability was not as good as Yiwuji's. Now that his life spirit was gradually being controlled, he was even less of a match for Yiwuji. All he could do was roar in anger. Yiwuji sent Tai flying with a punch and looked at him arrogantly. I'm just a hero, not a hero. You schemed against my son first. Do you think I can't do the same to you? Tai was furious. He threatened loudly, Yiwuji, don't push me. If you push me too far, I'll make you and your son kill each other. Tai, you want to control my son with that little trick of yours? You're too naive. Yiwuji sneered. With a thought, he controlled the devouring origin in the god-eater brain and destroyed Tai's trick. He completely lost connection with the god-eater brain. This, after losing connection with the god-eater brain, Tai lost his biggest support and panicked. Yiwuji, as long as you give up controlling me, I'm willing to help you fight for the throne. Tai had no choice but to compromise. However, Yiwuji wasn't moved. The trick in the primitive heart continued to erode Tai's life spirit and finally controlled him. Yiwuji, aren't you afraid that I'll blow myself up and ruin all your plans? Tai had completely accepted his fate now that his life spirit was controlled by Yiwuji. He glared at him with his blood-red eyes and roared loudly. Oh, blow myself up? Tai snorted. If you had the courage to blow yourself up, I think you'd have returned to the void god world long ago. Tai was going crazy as Yiwuji kept tearing at his scars. However, he really didn't have the courage to kill himself. He could only clench his teeth in hatred, but there was nothing he could do. All right, Tai, do you want to take revenge on the human sovereign? If you do, I'll help you reach the peak of the void god realm. Looking at the livid Tai, Yiwuji said patiently, if you can help me win the throne, I'll not only give you freedom, but I'll also give you a world. Yiwuji, although you are powerful, how confident are you in defeating Shenhuang? Tai asked, somewhat resigned to his fate. Give me the rootless holy water, and let me refine the heaven-seizing supreme pill. Then, I'll have a 50% chance of defeating Shen Huang and seize the opportunity to become a god. Yi Wuji said, "You can make the heaven-seizing god pill." Tai Yi's eyes widened in shock. The heaven-seizing divine pellet was the highest grade pellet in the void god world. If one wanted to refine the heaven-seizing divine pellet, one would need to gather many peerless items. Moreover, one would need to have extremely deep attainments in the Tao of alchemy in order to be able to refine the heaven-seizing divine pellet. And the last time the heaven-seizing divine pill appeared, it had already been nearly 1,000,000 years since then. Yes, I have basically gathered the main ingredients for refining the heaven-seizing divine pill. Yi Wuji nodded. But as far as I know, the main ingredients for the heaven-seizing divine pill have long been extinct. Tai said, "Extinct main ingredients can be replaced with origin energy." Yi Wuji said nonchalantly, "All right, Tai Yi, our time is limited. If we want to seize the opportunity to become a god from Shen Huang, we have to race against time. Now, give me the rootless holy water. I'll help you break through to the peak of the void god realm." All right. Tai Yi sighed helplessly. He took out the rootless holy water that he had kept for countless years and handed it to Yi Wuji. "Sheng Feng, you guys go and take care of your personal matters in the Duhan continent. After I help Tai Yi break through to the peak of the void god realm, we'll return to the void god realm and settle the score with the human sovereign," Yi Wuji said as he put away the rootless holy water. "All right." Yi Chenfeng nodded. He led Yi Tian and the others out of the secret space where Tai Yi was and headed to the Nine Swords Divine Kingdom. The news of Yi Chenfeng and the others' return swept through the entire central world like a hurricane. The entire central world was in an uproar. All the forces rushed to the Nine Swords Palace to visit Yi Chenfeng. Even many important figures who had not shown themselves came out of seclusion. "Yin, why don't you and Tian come with us to the Void God realm?" Yi Chenfeng said softly as he gently hugged the seductive and beautiful Shui Hanyan's soft body. Shui Hanyan snuggled up to Yi Chenfeng's strong chest. She shook her head gently and rejected him tactfully. "No, the Void God realm doesn't belong to me. This is our home. I'm not going anywhere. I'll stay here and protect our home. If you're tired one day, come back and find me." All right then." Yi Chenfeng knew that Shui Hanyan was a very opinionated woman. No amount of persuasion would work. He had no choice but to give up. He could only vent his endless longing in their embrace. After returning to the Nine Swords Palace, Yi Chenfeng spent every day with Shui Hanyan, Yu Nikhang, Xiao Wendy, and Yi Tian accompanying them to play. "All right, Chenfeng, I'll take you to meet a few friends." One day, Shui Hanyan, who was wearing a fiery red gauze skirt that outlined her seductive figure and exuded a faint fragrance, found Yi Chenfeng and pretended to be mysterious. "Who?" Yi Chenfeng looked into Shui Hanyan's charming eyes and asked. "You'll know when we get there." Shui Hanyan gently pulled on Yi Chenfeng's hand and flew away from the Nine Swords Palace, heading for an ancient mountain forest not far from it. Jian Chun, Jian Mali, and Jian Tianzi, Delinga. Yi Chenfeng's soul was extremely powerful. After flying out of the mountain forest, he immediately sensed 5 familiar auras in a secluded valley. However, he didn't want to see Jian Tianzi, fearing that it would be awkward if he saw her. "Let's go. I think they'll be very happy to see you." While hesitating, Shui Hanyan pulled Yi Chenfeng into the secluded valley. Chenfeng, Jian Chun, who was practicing his sword in the valley, suddenly saw 2 blurry figures appear. When he saw that one of them was the legend of the Dahun continent, Yi Chenfeng, his eyes widened and he cried out in excitement. "Brother Jian Chun, long time no see." Seeing Jian Chun break through to nirvana, Yi Chenfeng couldn't help but smile. Hearing the commotion in the valley, Jian Mali, Jian Tianzi, Delinga, and the others all appeared. Seeing Jian Tianzi again, Yi Chenfeng found that Jian Tianzi's cold face didn't reveal any embarrassment, as if she had forgotten the beautiful misunderstanding. Delinga also didn't show any strong hostility towards Yi Feng. The few of them happily sat together and talked about their experiences in the past few years. Time passed day by day, and Yi Feng stayed in the Duhan continent for more than a year. During this year, he also made a trip to the Zijin kingdom to visit the Yi family, as well as Ji Qingxue and Bai Xia, who had become Zijin kingdom's goddess of war. During his stay in the Fighting Spirit continent, Yi Feng had visited almost all his friends, but he hadn't seen the Heaven Plucker. However, he believed that with Heaven Plucker's strength and means, no one in the Duhan continent could threaten her life. It could only be fate that they didn't meet. While Yi Feng stayed in the Duhan continent and enjoyed this rare peace, a storm suddenly surged in the depths of the mysterious sea, shocking the entire Duhan continent. Sai, Senior Tai, he has already broken through to the peak of the Nihility God realm. We have to leave too. Yi Feng enjoyed this peaceful life. He knew that once he returned to the Nihility God realm, he would have to face an even more brutal bloody storm. Moreover, the Battle of the Gods was about to begin. He didn't know if he could survive in the Battle of the Gods. However, he knew that his fate was already tied to the Battle of the Gods. There was no turning back. Yin Tian Yin, I'm leaving now. Take care of yourselves. If I have time, I'll definitely come down to visit you. Yi Feng hugged Shui Han Yin, Jiao Yin, and Yi Tian tightly in his arms as he reluctantly said goodbye. He didn't know if this farewell would be eternal. We'll wait for you, Shui Han Yin and the other two said with tears in their eyes. Chapter 21-26. The Kunlun Sacred Ground was one of the two sacred grounds of the human race. It was located in the Kunlun Celestial Mountain and controlled the fate of the human race. Due to the destruction of the Ascension Palace, the Kunlun Sacred Ground activated its strongest array formation and rejected all visitors. What's going on? The Kunlun Sacred Ground actually closed its mountain. That's right. The Kunlun Sacred Ground has never closed its mountain gate. What happened? Why? You don't know why the Kunlun Sacred Ground closed its mountain gate? While the human cultivators who came to the Kunlun Sacred Ground to become apprentices, visitors, and worship were discussing animatedly, a man in a white robe, who was not tall and had flat eyes, spoke. You know, as soon as the white-robed man finished speaking, pairs of eyes shot toward him. The Kunlun Sacred Ground closed its mountain gate and the destruction of the Ascension Palace. The white-robed man said slowly, according to reliable sources, the one who destroyed the Ascension Palace was a human cultivator. That person is extremely ambitious. After destroying the Ascension Palace, he wants to destroy the Kunlun Sacred Ground and unify the human race. What? There's such a thing? The human cultivators gathered outside the Kunlun Celestial Mountain were enraged when they heard what the white-robed man said. Do you know the name of that executioner? I heard that person is called Yi Feng, the white-robed man said deliberately. Yi Feng? Where did this person come from? Why haven't I heard of him before? No matter who he is a sinner of the human race for killing his own people. The heavens will not let him go, a human cultivator said with righteous indignation. It's not what he said. There's another reason why the Ascension Palace was destroyed. A tall and straight man in a black Taoist robe slowly walked over and said, also, the human emperor isn't as good as you think. He's the main culprit behind the fall of the human race. T. How dare you slander the human emperor? Do you believe that I will skin you alive? A white-haired old man glared angrily at the black-robed man with a pair of tiger-like eyes and said angrily from embarrassment. The white-haired old man was not the only one who was enraged. The human cultivators gathered outside the Kunlun Immortal Mountain were also enraged. They surrounded the black-robed man. It's up to you whether to believe it or not, but I'm telling the truth. The black-robed man said calmly. Also, I'm Yi Feng that you were just talking about. What? You're Yi Feng? The enraged human cultivators were dumbfounded. Many of the human cultivators who had wanted to teach Yi Feng a lesson now retreated. Yi Feng could destroy Ascension Palace with a single hand, so killing them would be a piece of cake. Yi Feng, what are you doing in the Kunlun Holy Land? Don't tell me you still want to attack the Kunlun Holy Land? Have you forgotten your roots? The white-haired old man who had just reprimanded Yi Chunfeng didn't back down. Instead, he spoke with righteous indignation. I came to the Kunlun Holy Land to settle the score with the human emperor and reveal his true identity. Yi Chunfeng wasn't angry at all, as he explained calmly. If you want to deal with the human emperor, you'll have to step over my dead body first. The white-haired old man said, as if he was facing death. That's right, there's still me. Kill us if you have the guts. Several human cultivators who weren't afraid of death stood beside the white-haired old man and formed a human wall in front of Yi Chunfeng. Everyone, let's disperse. The destruction of the Ascension Palace is truly our own fault. At this moment, the charming and enchanting Yu Nishang, who wore a jade green dress, slowly walked over and said, Your Feather Moon Saintess. Yu Nikhang was very famous in the human race. Many human cultivators had seen her before and recognized her. Yes, I'm Feather Moon. Yu Nikhang nodded and said, I can guarantee with my integrity that Ascension Palace has been very close to the divine race these years. Ascension Palace has long forgotten its mission and inheritance. As she spoke, a memory stone appeared in Yu Nichang's hand. When she injected her divine power into the memory stone, the scene of Yi Chunfeng and Yu Huashan making a bet, and Yu Huashan going back on his words and joining forces with the heavenly race and the devil race to deal with Yi Chunfeng appeared in front of everyone. Looking at the scene in front of them, the white-haired old man and the others were all dumbfounded. The scene in front of them had overturned everything they knew. When the human cultivators gathered outside the Kunlun Holy Land were all attracted by the scene in the sky. A loud voice exploded in the sky like thunder. Tai is here to visit. The roaring voice reverberated in the void. It was so loud that the restriction formation covering the Kunlun mountain started to tremble. Yi Wuji is here to visit. As soon as Tai's voice fell, Yi Wuji's voice came again, shaking the legs of the human cultivators gathered outside the Kunlun mountain. Some of them were so scared that they sat on the ground, their faces pale. Phoenix God is here to visit. Dragon God is here to visit. Chasing Sun God is here to visit. The voices of Yi Wuji, Tai, and Dragon God were mixed together, forming an earth-shattering sound, directly breaking the restriction formation above the Kunlun mountain. The next moment, Yi Chunfeng and the others flew into the void, passing through the broken restriction formation and entering the fairy-like Kunlun mountain. How dare you! Those who trespass on the Kunlun Holy Land will be killed without mercy. When Yi Chunfeng and the others broke into the Kunlun mountain, a large number of powerful cultivators of the Kunlun Holy Land flew out, trying to stop them. However, the combat power of Yi Chunfeng and the others was too terrifying, especially Yi Wuji, Tai, and Dragon God. They were all powerful cultivators at the peak of the Void God realm. As Tai waved his long sleeve, dense energy ripples appeared in the entire space, directly sending the disciples of the Kunlun Holy Land who came to stop them flying. However, they were not killed. When Yi Chunfeng and the others arrived at the Kunlun Holy Land in the depths of the Kunlun Celestial Mountain like a hot knife through butter, a huge formation of light blocked their path. The terrifying aura made them feel like they were facing a calamity. Human Emperor, an old friend is here. Is this how you welcome me? After fusing with the great Desolation Heart and stepping into the peak of the Void God realm, Tai regained his former pride. He roared, and the great desolation power gushed out of his body, turning into a giant with the sky above his head and the mountains under his feet. He threw a punch, directly shattering the huge light formation blocking them. The terrifying power shook the entire Kunlun mountain violently, and endless light shone in the Kunlun Holy Land. Formation. When Tai's punch shattered the formation of the Kunlun Holy Land, hundreds of disciples of the Kunlun Holy Land flew out and quickly formed a sword formation, blocking Yi Chunfeng and the others. Yusin. Looking at the beautiful lady in the center of the formation, Yu Yiming recognized her immediately. She was Ling Yusin, the one he had feelings for. Yi Chunfeng, Yu Yiming, what do you want? Have you forgotten your own blood, your own roots? You want to destroy the Kunlun Holy Land. Ling Yusin, who was wearing a white martial arts robe and wielding a sharp longsword, glared at Yi Chanfeng and Yi Chinfeng as she spoke. Yusin, the human emperor, is the one with the ambitions of the human race. Don't work for him anymore. Yu Yiming looked at Ling Yusin's beautiful face and kept persuading her. Yu Yiming, do you think I will believe you? The human emperor was the leader of the Kunlun Holy Land, and he was the god in everyone's hearts. Ling Yusin snorted coldly, unmoved. Yusin, Yiming is right. The human emperor is the one who caused the fall of the human race, Yi Chinfeng added. Stop acting, you two brothers. I won't believe you. Ling Yusin shook her head and said stubbornly. Yi Chinfeng was speechless. Yusin, don't talk nonsense. Yi Chinfeng is my father, not my brother. Yu Yiming said helplessly. Chapter 21-27. Yu Yiming, are you out of your mind? Ling Yusin stared at Yu Yiming coldly. She could not accept the relationship between Yi Chinfeng and Yu Yiming. All right, Yiming, we will explain to Yusin after we capture her. Yi Chinfeng did not want to talk about this anymore. He was ready to break the formation and capture Ling Yusin. Kunlun Divine Sword Formation. Slay all demons. Ling Yusin's pupil shrank. She controlled the powerful Kunlun Divine Sword Formation and slashed at Yi Chinfeng and the others. Leave it to me. Tai had not returned for hundreds of thousands of years. This time, he tried his best to show off his strength. He immediately controlled the Chaos Giant to attack. He broke thousands of invincible divine swords with one punch, shaking the Kunlun Divine Sword Formation violently. Tai, how dare you come back? When Tai activated the Chaos Heart and shook the Kunlun Divine Sword Formation continuously, an angry roar was heard. Yu Huashun, who had almost died in Yuhua Palace, appeared with several empty God Realm Masters of Kunlun. It's you. Looking at Yu Huashun, Tai, who was once the most powerful human, recognized him immediately. Senior Tai, what is the relationship between Yu Huashun and the human sovereign? Yi Chinfeng did not expect Tai to know Yu Huashun. He quickly asked. He should be the human sovereign's son. Tai said, Son. Yi Chinfeng's eyes widened in shock. However, on second thought, he accepted the relationship between Yu Huashun and the human sovereign. That was the only reason why the human sovereign let Yu Huashun stay and let him break through to late empty God realm, controlling the 3-life stone and the human sacred ground. 3-life stone, 3-life kill. In his shock, Yu Huashun summoned the 3-live stone, a supreme treasure. He controlled the 3-live stone to shoot out endless 3 lives light, which attacked Yi Chinfeng like a tide. Bell of Destiny. The 3-life stone was more powerful than an ordinary empty god artifact. Shen Yaotian immediately summoned the Bell of Destiny to counter the attack. Boom! When the terrifying power of creation hit the Bell of Creation, a loud bell chime rang out, shaking the entire void and causing a large area to collapse. The divine Jade Heaven forcefully neutralized the 3-live stone's attack, and Tai once again unleashed a flood of power to attack the Kunlun Divine Sword Formation. The power of over 100 billion kilograms caused the Ascension Palace disciples in the formation to vomit blood, and cracks also appeared on the gigantic Kunlun Divine Sword Formation. The Kunlun Divine Sword Formation was broken. The Phoenix God and Shun Yaotian made their moves. They released the scorching Phoenix Divine Fire and suppressed Yu Huashun instantly. The 4 empty gods that had appeared with Yi Chinfeng were knocked away by the ancestor dragon that the original dragon god had transformed into. They were no threat to Yi Chinfeng and the others. Just as the Kunlun sacred land was in imminent danger, an invincible sword radiance soared into the sky, disrupted the firmament, and slashed toward Yi Chinfeng and the others with the boundless power of the Way of the Sword. Human Emperor, you've finally shown yourself. The shocking sword radiance came. Yi Wuji let out a roar and met it with his bare hands. He waved his overbearing fist and shattered the sword radiance with one punch. Yi Wuji, why do you have to force me? You should know that you and I have a common enemy. We should join forces to fight against Shenwan. The human emperor flew out of the Kunlun sacred land. He was wearing a dark golden robe with dragon patterns, a crown on his head, and dragon scale boots. The golden human emperor's sword was hanging on his back. "I'm here this time to avenge Tai," Yi Wuji said loudly, looking at the human emperor who was hiding very well. "I'm here to avenge Tai Yi and the thousands of people who died at your hands. Tai Yi is just a loser, and I know where he's been hiding. I didn't kill him because he lost the will to fight for the throne," the human emperor said coldly, looking at Tai Yi with disdain. "Human emperor, now that I've reached the peak of the empty god realm, let's settle all the grudges between us today." The human emperor's eyes completely enraged Tai Yi. He said through gritted teeth, "So what if you've reached the peak of the empty god realm? If you don't have the will to sacrifice yourself and the courage to fight without fear, how can you fight me?" Tai Yi's strength was not what it used to be, but in the human emperor's eyes, only Yi Wuji could truly threaten him. "Human emperor, I'll let you know if I have the strength to defeat you." Tai Yi was furious. He completely activated the power of the primitive heart and raised his combat strength to the extreme. He summoned the God Devourer's sword, an ultimate empty god artifact, and slashed at the human emperor. With one slash, the space within a few miles shattered. The terrifying sword radiance seemed to freeze the entire space, splitting it in half. "All right, since you want to know the difference between you and me, I'll show you." Facing Tai Yi's God Devourer sword radiance, the human emperor gently waved his arm. Instantly, a supreme sword radiance appeared. Like an erupting sword mountain, it directly shattered Tai Yi's attack. So strong, this human emperor is actually so strong. "Father, can you feel the human emperor's true strength?" Yi Chenfeng asked telepathically. He had not expected the human emperor to be so powerful that he could break Tai Yi's attack with a wave of his hand. If I'm not wrong, he should have 1 foot in the peak of the empty god realm. Moreover, he has a treasure that allows him to have the combat strength of the peak of the empty god realm for a short period of time. Yi Wuji said solemnly, "Father, do you have a chance to defeat him?" Although Yi Chenfeng had never seen an almighty at the peak of the empty god realm, he knew that there was an insurmountable gap between the peak of the empty god realm and the peak of the empty god realm. If the human emperor could have the combat strength of the peak of the empty god realm for a short period of time, it would be terrifying. An external force is an external force. As long as he hasn't reached the peak of the empty god realm, I can defeat him, Yi Wuji said forcefully. As he spoke, Tai Yi pushed his will to the extreme. Holding the God Devourer's sword, he continuously attacked the human emperor. The terrifying attacks were like the wrath of a god, terrifying everyone. Buzz, buzz, buzz. As Tai Yi's attack approached, the human emperor's pupils constricted. With a series of ear-piercing sword cries, the human emperor's sword soared into the sky. In an instant, it transformed into a gigantic golden sword that was hundreds of feet long. It shattered Tai Yi's attack and forced him back. A large amount of blood gushed out from his chest. Ow, how is this possible? Looking at the sword mark on his chest, Tai Yi could not accept this fact. He could not believe that the human emperor's strength had become so terrifying. Even though he had reached the peak of the empty god realm, he was no match for the human emperor, even with the help of the primitive heart. While Tai Yi was still in shock, his expression changed. He saw the human emperor holding the human emperor's sword and slashing at him. As the sword slashed out, heaven and earth seemed to stop. All that was left was a sword light that pierced through the universe. Sensing the terror of the human emperor's sword, Tai Yi immediately used a powerful technique to fight against the sword. However, the human emperor's sword was too powerful. In an instant, it tore through all of Tai Yi's techniques. The sword landed on his body and sent him flying. His body was almost split in half. He was severely injured. After injuring Tai Yi with one strike, the human emperor cast his gaze at Yi Wuji and asked domineeringly, "Yi Wuji, I'll ask you one last time. Do you insist on being my enemy?" "Human emperor, you and I are destined to be enemies." This battle is inevitable. Yi Wuji replied forcefully. Let's go. Let's fight in outer space. In that case, I'll do as you wish. Let's fight in outer space. Chapter 21-28. Anyone who steps into the Kunlun Holy Land will be killed without mercy. A fierce and emotionless voice suddenly sounded from the five-colored light shadow left behind by the human emperor. The five-colored light shadow shattered, revealing a 6-foot-tall stone man that looked like it was carved from five-colored divine stones. His eyes flowed with powerful will of Tao, and he held a giant axe in his hand. The Chaos Stone General, the guardian of the Tomb of Chaos, has been subdued by the human emperor. Looking at the five-colored stone man, Shun Yaotian immediately recognized him. He was the guardian of the Tomb of Chaos, and his strength was terrifying. During the Primordial Age, the Tomb of Chaos was as famous as the Chaos Tomb. However, the Tomb of Chaos had been conquered long ago, so there were no legends of the Tomb of Chaos. Leave this Chaos Stone General to me. The first dragon god's eyes narrowed. He took a step forward and crossed thousands of meters in an instant, appearing in front of the Chaos Stone General. His skinny old hand turned into a sharp dragon claw and grabbed at the Chaos Stone General. The first dragon god quickly grabbed at the Chaos Stone General, and the Chaos Stone General quickly punched out, meeting the first dragon god's dragon claw head-on. The sudden explosion of power forced the first dragon god back. Peak Nihility God Combat Strength. After this head-on clash, the primordial dragon god learned of the Chaos Stone General's strength. His wrinkled face involuntarily turned solemn. Although the first dragon god was also a peak Nihility god, the Chaos Stone General was indestructible. With the first dragon god's combat strength, it would be difficult to suppress him, let alone defeat him. First dragon god, I'm here to help you. Tai Yi, who had just been injured by the human emperor, quickly swallowed a Nihility soul pill to suppress his injuries. He flew over with the God Devourer blade and fought the Chaos Stone General together with the first dragon god. While the first dragon god and Tai Yi were fighting fiercely with the Chaos Stone General, Shin Yaotian stepped in and raised the power of the Bell of Destiny to the maximum. It broke the Kunlun Divine Sword formation like a mountain. Puff, puff, puff. The Kunlun Divine Sword formation broke, and Ling Yusin, who was in the center of the formation, was immediately injured. Blood spurted out of her mouth, and her delicate face turned pale. Yusin, when Ling Yusin lost control of her body and fell to the ground, Yu Yiming quickly flew over and caught her in his arms to prevent her from being injured. Let me go. I order you to let me go. Ling Yusin was the saintess of the Kunlun Holy Land and was very loyal to the Kunlun Holy Land. She immediately struggled in Yu Yiming's arms. Yusin, listen to me. The human sovereign is not as good as you think he is. Moreover, the battle of gods is about to begin. You will most likely sacrifice yourselves for him. Yu Yiming hugged Ling Yusin's soft body tightly and said loudly, Yu Yiming, no matter what you say, it's useless. I only know that what you're doing now is pushing the human race into a fire pit. Ling Yusin did not know the inside story, so she did not listen to Yu Yiming's explanation and continued to struggle. Sigh, I know you won't listen to anything I say right now, but you have to remember that I won't lie to you because I love you. Yu Yiming looked at Ling Yusin's pale face and sighed softly, causing her to faint. At this time, Yi Chunfeng arrived beside Ling Yusin, summoned the god Eater Brain, and directly sent it into her soul sea. Indeed, there is a seal in Yusin's soul. When the god Eater Brain entered Ling Yusin's soul sea, Yi Chunfeng felt the power of the seal. He immediately controlled the god Eater Brain and forcefully devoured the seal, resolving Ling Yusin's crisis. Yiming, this battle is too dangerous. What you need to do is to protect yourself and Yusin. Leave the rest to us. After Ling Yusin's crisis was resolved, Yi Chunfeng took back the God Eater Brain. After giving some instructions, he joined the battle, preparing to kill Yu Huashen with all his might. Suddenly, Yi Chunfeng's pupil shrank. He saw more than 10 empty God Realm Masters with extremely terrifying auras fly out of the Kunlun Holy Land and appear beside Yu Huashan. Judging from the auras of these empty God Realm masters, 2 of them had actually stepped into the complete empty God Realm. 5 of them were late empty God Realm masters, and the remaining 9 were mid-level empty God Realm masters. The Kunlun Holy Land is so powerful. Yi Chunfeng did not expect that the Kunlun Holy Land was hiding such terrifying experts. The Kunlun Holy Land's current strength was not much weaker than the Heavenly Imperial Tribe, Divine Sky Tribe, and Demon Tribe. It was many times stronger than the Ancient Tribe and Dragon Tribe. Sword God, Snow God, Dian Holy God, Baiyang War God. Tai Yi recognized the dozen or so virtual god almighties who had suddenly appeared. Like him, these people were the absolute pillars of the human tribe during the primordial age. Some of them were even overlords. However, after the primordial age war, these almighties of the human tribe had all disappeared, and the overall strength of the human tribe had fallen to the extreme. These people have no souls. They are already dead. They are puppets controlled by someone. The god of life had a high level of attainment in life spirits. She saw through these people immediately. Puppets, the human sovereign turned so many empty gods of the human tribe into puppets. Tai did not expect the human sovereign to be so ruthless. He was glad that he had hidden in the lower bound. Otherwise, he would have suffered the same fate as these people. Kill them all. Leave none alive. Yu Huashan ordered with a ferocious face. Senior Divine Void, Senior Eternal Ancient, Evil God, Tao Tai, Divine Beast of Chaos. Come out. Facing more than 10 empty gods of the human tribe during the primordial age, Yi Chunfeng felt the pressure. He quickly summoned Divine Void and the others from the universe realm to face them. Fortunately, Divine Jade Sky, God of Life, and Phoenix God were all empty gods of the peak empty god realm. The 3 of them were enough to control the situation. Yu Huashan, I will kill you today. In the holy Jade Sky, when the Phoenix God and the others were fighting with the Sword God puppet, Yi Chunfeng realized that the Sword God, who was controlled by the human sovereign, seemed to be the one who had left the Sword God scripture in the Misty Heaven sect. He was half a teacher to Yi Chunfeng. Yi Chunfeng flew into a rage and attacked Yu Huashan. He wanted to kill Yu Huashan to avenge those innocent, ethereal god realm warriors. Chunfeng, be careful. The Stone of 3 Lives is at the same level as the divine weapon of creation. Divine Jade Sky, who was fighting fiercely with Snow God, who was wearing a white martial arts suit and exuding an extremely cold aura, warned when she saw Yi Chunfeng attacking Yu Huashan. Don't worry, mother. I will kill him. In the space of creation, Yi Chunfeng's strength was not what it used to be. His sword spirit and chaotic dharma form had undergone a qualitative change. He merged them with the chaotic dharma form, the heart of God, and burned his primordial blood. His combat strength was instantly raised to the peak empty god realm. Crack! The space in front of Yu Huashan could not withstand the power of the sword and cracked. The powerful sword essence created a vacuum in the space, which kept collapsing. Stone of 3 Lives, power of 3 lives. Feeling the terror of Yi Chunfeng's sword, Yu Huashan immediately threw out the Stone of 3 Lives. He used the power of 3 lives and the Stone of 3 Lives to resist the power of Yi Chunfeng's sword. Yi Chunfeng, do you really think that I can't defeat you? Today, I will show you how powerful I am. Yu Huashan's pupils shrank. He merged the Stone of 3 Lives into his body and controlled the power of the ancestral land of the Kunlun Holy Land to merge into his body. The ancestral land of the Kunlun Holy Land was very powerful. After merging the Stone of 3 Lives and the ancestral land of the Kunlun Holy Land, Yu Huashan's strength increased to the peak empty god realm, which was the same as Yi Chunfeng. Dying. Chapter 21-29. Chaos Field Fuse. Yu Huashan thrust his spear at Yi Chunfeng. Yi Chunfeng instantly merged with the chaos area and increased his strength to almost 200 billion kilograms. Holding the Universal Origin Sword, he went up to meet the attack. The Universal Sword clashed with the Golden Coil Dragon Spear, and the explosive power tore the space apart. This is the power of 3 lives. Sensing the mysterious power in the golden coiled dragon spear, Yi Chunfeng immediately guessed that it was the power of 3 lives. Only the power of 3 lives could withstand the attack of the chaos field so easily. After a head-on clash, Yi Chunfeng and Yu Huaxin continued to attack each other. Their attacks intertwined like a surging tide and created huge waves. Levitation God Cannon. Yu Huaxin was slightly surprised that he could not suppress Yi Chunfeng after fusing with the power of 3 live stone and the ancestral vein. He quickly changed his move and derived the Levitation God Cannon. Tens of thousands of light feathers appeared and attacked Yi Chunfeng. Time stopped. While Yi Chunfeng was rapidly deriving the Levitation God Cannon, Yi Chunfeng suddenly stopped the time around him and forcefully interrupted the frequency of Yu Huaxin's light feathers. Then, Yi Chunfeng suddenly sped up. He thrust his sword at Yu Huaxin's chest at an extremely fast speed. Seeing that Yu Huaxin was stabbed in the chest, he used his powerful strength to shatter the stopped space and summoned a dark golden tortoise shell to defend against the attack of the universal sword. Although Yu Huaxin used the tortoise shell to defend against the attack of the universal sword, Yi Chunfeng forcefully interrupted his attack and forced him to change his move. Yu Huaxin felt very uncomfortable and his body suffered a backlash that caused blood to seep out. Destruction of gods, tribulation of gods. Seizing the opportunity when Yu Huaxin was suffering from the backlash, Yi Chunfeng instantly merged with the sword realm, raising the power of the sword Wei to the extreme. He deduced the unparalleled will of Wei and slashed out the god-destroying strike. Boom! The shocking sword Dao shattered the tortoise shell and landed on Yu Huaxin's body. The terrifying power of the sword Dao sent Yu Huaxin flying. However, with the help of the 3 live stone and the power of the ancestral vein, Yu Huaxin was able to neutralize most of the deity-destroying strike. He was only slightly injured. Divine Ability Mirror Image. After injuring Yu Huaxin, Yi Chunfeng immediately created 3 mirror images to attack Yu Huaxin. Under the attack of the 3 mirror image doppelgangers, Yi Chunfeng's attack was suppressed. It was difficult for him to launch a fatal counterattack. Seeing that Yi Chunfeng had the absolute advantage in the battle with Yu Huaxin, Shen Yaotian was completely relieved. She raised her own battle prowess to the extreme and controlled the 2 divine weapons of creation to fight fiercely with the sword god who was holding the divine sword. Boom, boom, boom. As the battle grew more and more intense, the progenitor dragon god and Tai found it difficult to suppress the Chaos Stone General, whose defense was invincible. Desolate Domain, Primordial Dragon Domain. With their attack suppressed, the progenitor dragon god and Tai Yishuang unleashed their domains, using them to pressure the Chaos Stone General. However, the Chaos Stone General's power was too horrifying. The progenitor dragon god and Tai Yishuang unleashed their 2 domains, but they still could not suppress the Chaos Stone General for a while. The human race's civil war was getting more and more intense. The horrifying attacks destroyed the Kunlun Celestial Mountain. The progenitor dragon god, Tai Yishuang, and the Chaos Stone General's attacks were constantly collapsing the space. However, the battle that really dominated the battle was the one between Yu Wuji and the human sovereign. Although the 2 of them were fighting fiercely in outer space, their power was too horrifying. They destroyed the outer space, and the collapsed space could be seen clearly from tens of thousands of miles away. Little 6 paths, origin, suppress. Yi Wuji unleashed his ultimate attacks, but he could not suppress the human sovereign's attacks. He had no choice but to use the power of the little 6 paths to suppress the human sovereign. Yi Wuji, I really admire you. I did not expect you to have refined the little 6 paths and completed a feat that no one has ever done before. Facing the attack of the little 6 paths, the human sovereign's expression did not change. He activated his powerful sword Dao and tore apart the 6 paths origin. You're also very good. You know a secret that we have never known. I think you must have gotten this secret from the ruins of God. Yi Wuji used the power of the little 6 paths but he still could not suppress the human sovereign. He guessed that the secret in the human sovereign's body was no small matter. Yi Wuji, you're a smart man. All right, since you've seen through my secret, I'll show you my true strength, the human emperor said in a low voice. As he spoke, the human sovereign used his last trump card. His combat power soared to an extremely horrifying level. 5-clawed, golden dragons broke out of his body and circled around him. This is the power of a god. Feeling that the human sovereign had used his last trump card, a horrifying power was generated in his body. This power surpassed the power of creation, chaos, and chaos. It seemed to be the power of a god. What did the human sovereign get from the ruins of God? Yi Wuji said with a serious expression. His entire body instantly merged with the little 6 paths. He was ready to use the power of the 6 paths to shake the human sovereign. 9 dragons, emperor spell. His power soared to the extreme. The human sovereign used the most powerful spell he had created. He controlled the 5-clawed golden dragons circling around him to attack Yi Wuji. Feeling that the 5-clawed golden dragons contained the power of God, Yi Wuji did not dare to be careless. He activated the power of the little 6 paths and attacked. Boom, boom, boom. Yi Wuji controlled the little 6 paths to attack the 5-clawed golden dragons, shattering them one by one. However, under the human sovereign's rapid attack of the 9 dragons emperor spell, the 5-clawed golden dragons kept breaking out of his body, putting pressure on Yi Wuji. The two used their last attacks, shattering the entire outer space and shattering the stars near them. Starry heavenly stone, suppress. While Yi Wuji and the human sovereign were fighting fiercely, a 7-colored heavenly stone suddenly appeared in the human sovereign's body. It suppressed Yi Wuji like a meteor. This is a real heavenly stone. Looking at the 7-colored heavenly stone, Yi Wuji finally knew what the human sovereign's trump card was. He had obtained a 7-colored heavenly stone in the ruins of God that only gods could possess. Back then, when he and Shun Etienne entered the ancient path of the stars and reached the end of the ancient path and entered the ruins of God, he also saw a 7-colored heavenly stone. However, even with his and Shun Yaoyan's power, they could not subdue the 7-colored heavenly stone. Seeing that the 7-colored heavenly stone was about to suppress Yi Wuji, the little 6 paths kept changing under the control of Yi Wuji's mind. It controlled the 6 original powers of God, human, sky, demon, monster, and ancient to completely merge and collide with the stone. Boom! The 2 divine weapons that surpassed the pinnacle of the void God realm collided, instantly shattering thousands of miles of space. All the asteroids and stars in the space were turned into ashes. Poof! Poof! After the collision, Yi Wuji and the human sovereign were both injured. They kept spitting out blood. Chapter 21:30. Yu Huashan, today is the day you die. Yi Qinfeng's attacks had completely suppressed Yu Huashan. He continued to combine the Chaos Territory and Sword Territory to launch fatal attacks on Yu Huashan, worsening his injuries. Triple Life Force, Soul Destruction. Unable to withstand Yi Qinfeng's ferocious attacks, Yu Huashan infused his origin blood into the Stone of 3 Lives, activating the strongest power of the Stone of 3 Lives. It shot out a beam of triple life light, attacking Yi Qinfeng's soul in an attempt to destroy it. God-Eater Brain, Devour. Attacked by the triple life force, Yi Qinfeng's soul was immediately injured. However, with the God-Eater Brain devouring, the triple life force could not destroy Yi Qinfeng's soul. Seizing the opportunity when Yu Huashan was controlling the Stone of 3 Lives, Yi Qinfeng suddenly stopped time and launched 3 fatal attacks at Yu Huashan. Myriad Sword Convergence. Destruction of Gods. Tribulation of Gods. Infinite Chaos. In an instant, Yi Qinfeng struck out 3 supreme spells at Yu Huashan. They tore through his body's defense and sent him flying. A large amount of blood spurted out of his mouth. Zhenlei. When Yi Qinfeng was severely injuring Yu Huashan, Shun Daoshu suddenly let out a furious roar. White Sun Battle God suddenly launched an attack, repelling the Phoenix God and launching a fatal attack at Zhenlei, who was not far away. White Sun Battle God was a perfect, empty God realm cultivator with terrifying combat strength. His all-out attack was enough to kill Zhenlei, who had just stepped into the intermediate empty God realm. At the critical moment, Zhenlei continuously used his defensive trump card and raised his sky territory to the extreme, trying his best to weaken White Sun Battle God's fatal attack. However, the difference in strength between him and the White Sun Battle God was too great. The White Sun Battle God's fatal blow had easily shattered his defensive trump card and smashed his body into pieces. Then, White Sun Battle God's body suddenly expanded. He let out an earth-shattering roar, shattering Zhenlei's soul and Soul Devourer's brain, killing him. Zhenlei. Yi Qianfeng was enraged when he saw Zhenlei was killed. Ascension God Cannon. Seizing the opportunity, when Yi Qianfeng was distracted, Yu Huaxin continued to attack Yi Qianfeng regardless of his injuries. He wanted to take this opportunity to severely injure Yi Qianfeng. Dying. Yi Qianfeng's eyes narrowed, and two Void God artifacts appeared on his body. In the next moment, Yi Qianfeng used the way of equipment manipulation. Instantly, he activated the strongest power of the three Void God artifacts and attacked Yu Huaxin at close range. 3 Live Stone. The 3 Ethereal God artifacts were coming at him. Yu Huaxin's expression changed slightly. He immediately summoned the Stone of 3 Lives and used all his strength to defend against the fatal attacks of the 3 Ethereal God artifacts. Yu Huaxin, I will kill you today. The death of Void God Zhenlei had completely enraged Yi Qianfeng. With a roar, he summoned the withered Divine Wood of Time. Time stopped. Although the Divine Wood of Time was withered, it still contained a strong power of time. Yi Qianfeng activated the Divine Wood of Time and forcefully stopped time, freezing Yu Huaxin. His body was frozen in time. Yu Huaxin immediately controlled the power of the 3 Live Stone to break the frozen time by force. However, the moment he regained his ability to move, Yi Qianfeng suddenly appeared in front of him and attacked him with the 3,000 God-transforming fists. PFFF, PFFF, PFFF. Although Yu Huaxin had neutralized most of the power of the 3,000 Transformation God fists with his powerful combat strength, his body still suffered a fatal blow. A large amount of blood spurted out from his mouth. Dying. When Yu Huaxin was thrown into the air, Yi Qianfeng stepped in front of him and instantly merged with the chaos territory. He exploded with a power of nearly 100 billion Jin. Like a divine stone falling from the sky, Yi Qianfeng smashed into Yu Huaxin's body. Yu Huaxin fell from the air to the ground, creating a bottomless hole. 3 Live Stone recover. Yu Huaxin's body was almost destroyed by Yi Qianfeng. He immediately merged with the power of the 3 Live Stone and forcefully repaired his broken body. Ignoring the injuries on his body, he attacked Yi Qianfeng with all his strength. However, Yi Qianfeng was in a frenzy and his body was much stronger than Yu Huaxin's. He ignored Yu Huaxin's desperate attacks and kept attacking Yu Huaxin's body. His desperate attacks kept worsening Yu Huaxin's injuries. Feather God Scripture, destroy the world. As his injuries worsened, Yu Huaxin kept borrowing the power of the ancestral bloodline of the Kunlun Sacred Land to deduce the Feather God Scripture. He turned into a complete light feather and attacked Yi Qianfeng with the power to destroy the world. It's useless. You will die today. Yi Qianfeng performed the return of 10,000 swords and fought against the light feather. He kept attacking Yu Huaxin, not giving him any chance to rest. The two fought for more than an hour, and both of them suffered fatal attacks. Their injuries were getting worse and worse. Yi Qianfeng died for me. Yu Huaxin took a deep breath. He didn't care about the price he had to pay. He poured his powerful lifeblood and borrowed ancestral power into the 3 Live Stone. He controlled the 3 Live Stone to break out of his body. It shone with the terrifying 3 Lives light and crashed toward Yi Qianfeng. He wanted to shatter the Desolate body. When the 3 Live Stone was knocked away, Yi Qianfeng did not dodge. Instead, he infused the Sword Domain and the Sword of Fortune into the Myriad Origin Sword and threw it out with all his might. Boom! The three-live stone smashed onto Yi Qinfeng's body. The terrifying power shattered the void god artifact chaos body. At the same time, the universal sword stabbed into Yu Huashan's body. The universal qi and the creation sword soul were constantly damaging Yu Huashan's life spirit. Undying technique. After the penetration was shattered by the three-live stone, Yi Qinfeng immediately performed his undying divine art and instantly repaired his broken, desolate body. Yu Huashan, on the other hand, was stabbed by the myriad origin sword and couldn't pull it out for a while. Kill him with all your power. Yi Qinfeng summoned the two primitive embryos of Tao and had them block the three-live stone with all their might. Meanwhile, he appeared beside the myriad origin sword and grabbed its hilt. Using Mo's power, he continuously damaged Yu Huashan's life spirit. Once Yu Huashan's life spirit was destroyed, he wouldn't be able to reverse the situation no matter how powerful he was. Just as Yu Huashan was about to be killed, a golden finger suddenly appeared from Yu Huashan's body and pointed at Yi Qinfeng's head. I knew the human sovereign would give you a life-saving trump card. As the golden finger approached, Yi Qinfeng didn't panic. He allowed the finger to touch his forehead. Just as the golden finger was about to explode with a shocking power and crush Yi Qinfeng's head, a cracking sound rang out from Yi Qinfeng's neck. The amulet that Yi Wuji gave Yi Qinfeng was broken. It formed an impenetrable shield and blocked the fatal attack from the golden finger. Yi Qinfeng took this opportunity and performed 3 undying techniques without caring about his injuries. He kept attacking Yu Huashan's body. Boom, boom, boom. The 3 undying techniques were broken. The space around Yu Huashan collapsed. The horrifying attacks shattered Yu Huashan's body and severely damaged his life spirit. Yu Huashan, it's over. Yu Huashan's body was shattered. Yi Qinfeng summoned the Dharma form of chaos. He controlled the Dharma form of chaos to turn it into a towering divine tree of chaos. It pressed down on Yu Huashan's shattered body, devouring his divine power and life spirit. No, Stone of 3 Lives, save me. Under the suppression of the chaos divine tree, Yu Huashan was losing his divine power. He panicked and tried to save himself with the power of the Stone of 3 Lives. Land of chaos, land of sword, suppress. When the Stone of 3 Lives knocked away the 2 primitive embryos, Yi Qinfeng opened 2 fields to suppress the Stone of 3 Lives. Cracked. When the Stone of 3 Lives was forcefully suppressed by Yi Qinfeng's 2 domains, Yu Huashan's life spirit was shattered by the chaos divine wood. Many 5-colored roots pierced into every corner of his body, sucking him dry in an instant. God-eating brain, devour. With his body destroyed, Yu Huashan's soul tried to run away. At this moment, the God-eating brain appeared and turned into a black hole, crushing his soul. Chapter 21:31. Yu Hua. The moment Yu Huashan died, the human emperor who was fighting with Yi Wuji felt it. Yu Huashan was his only son, the heir to his legacy. His death was a great blow to the human sovereign, which affected the human sovereign's future plans. Yi Wuji, I will kill your whole family. The human emperor went crazy and attacked Yi Qinfeng crazily. He wanted to beat him back and return to the Yu Hua palace to kill Yi Qinfeng to avenge Yu Huashan. Human emperor, you can't defeat me unless you reach the extreme, empty God realm. Yi Wuji replied overbearingly. He controlled the 6 paths to spin rapidly and reflected the 6 origins to break the power of the 7-colored celestial stone. He fought with the human emperor in the sky. After killing Yu Huashan, Yi Qinfeng immediately took a supreme great ancestor elixir and a chaotic divine fruit to stabilize his injuries. He controlled the chaotic divine wood to suppress the Stone of 3 Lives and attacked the White Sun, martial immortal. Although the White Sun, martial immortal, was as powerful as the Phoenix God, Yi Qinfeng and the Phoenix God worked together to suppress his attacks. Chaotic divine fist. Yi Qinfeng held the myriad origin sword in his hand and parried the divine blade of the Baiyang battle god. In an instant, he merged with the desolate domain and blasted out a tyrannical punch. The punch landed on the Baiyang battle god's chest, and the terrifying attack forced him to take a few steps back. With strong defense, Yi Qinfeng's Great Desolation domain merged with the Great Desolation domain. The Great Desolation divine fist's might was extremely terrifying. It could even shatter a void god artifact. However, when it landed on battle god Baiyang's body, it only pushed him back a few steps. The human emperor has refined these human empty god realm experts with special means. Their bodies are stronger than ordinary empty god weapons. They are hard to deal with. Looking at Yi Qinfeng's shocked face, the phoenix god turned into a fiery shadow and attacked with all her strength. Invincible defense. Then I will devour his divine power. Yi Qinfeng's face darkened. He called out loudly, "Tao Tai, come here quickly." Upon hearing Yi Qinfeng summon, Tao Tai sent a mid-level virtual god flying with a headbutt and appeared beside Yi Qinfeng at lightning speed. Phoenix God, let's use all our strength to suppress this white sun war god and let the Tao Tai devour him. His body is invincible, but the divine power in his body is limited. After all, puppets are not living beings and could not continuously recover. So Yi Qinfeng thought of a way to let Tao Tai devour them. All right. The Phoenix God nodded and opened up his divine flame domain. Together with Yi Qinfeng, he suppressed the White Sun battle god. Break for this god. Despite being suppressed by the three domains, battle god Baiyang did not slow down his attacks. He held the divine saber in his hand and attacked with all his might. He wanted to shatter the three domains that were suppressing him. Just as he was about to launch his attack, the Chaos Divine would appear in the three domains. It instantly transformed into a towering divine tree and pressed down on battle god Baiyang. As the primal Chaos Divine would evolve, its suppressive force became even stronger. It instantly suppressed the White Sun War god's body, causing his movements to become extremely sluggish. Devour. When the White Sun War god was suppressed, the Tao Tai opened its bloody mouth and released a powerful devouring force that bombarded the White Sun War god's body. It used its innate ability and crazily devoured the divine power in the White Sun War god's body. While the Tao Tai was devouring with all his might, Yi Qinfeng controlled the five-colored roots of the primal Chaos Divine wood to wrap around the White Sun War god's body and forcefully devoured it. Under the dual devouring of Tao Tai and the primal Chaos Divine wood, the White Sun War god's divine power was continuously drained away. His resistance became weaker and weaker. At the same time, Shen Yaotian and the God of Life worked together and controlled the Bell of Fortune to suppress the Sword God. Ming-Er, help me with all your might. Shen Yaotian summoned the Pestle of Fortune and poured her divine power into the Pestle of Fortune with the God of Life. She controlled the Pestle of Fortune to strike the Bell of Fortune continuously and launched fatal attacks on the Sword God. The situation was gradually under the control of Yi Qinfeng and the others. However, the progenitor dragon god and Tai Yi's injuries were worsening. Facing the invincible defense of the primal Chaos Stone General, the progenitor dragon god and Tai Yi were unable to injure him. However, the primal Chaos Stone General's attacks were constantly worsening their injuries. Although their injuries were worsening, the progenitor dragon god and Tai Yi did not retreat. They knew that if they could not stop the primal Chaos Stone General, Yi Qinfeng, Shen Yaotian, and the others would be in danger. Bloodline ignition. The progenitor dragon god took a deep breath and ignited his powerful bloodline to suppress the injuries in his body. He controlled the progenitor dragon seal to strike the primal Chaos Stone General again and again. The progenitor dragon god was a peak nihility god realm expert. His full strength attack could even destroy a lower realm. However, when he struck the primal Chaos Stone General, he could only move at a few steps. He could not harm it at all. The progenitor dragon god ignited his powerful bloodline, and Tai Yi also ignited his great desolation heart to increase his battle strength. They attacked with all their might. However, even if the progenitor dragon god and Tai Yi went all out, They could not suppress the primal Chaos Stone General. It was only a matter of time before they were defeated. The fierce battle outside the Kunlun's sacred ground intensified and attracted a large number of human cultivators. Because the human cultivators did not know what the human emperor was doing, they hoped that the human emperor and the Kunlun's sacred ground would have the last laugh. His Majesty, you must win. That's right. If His Majesty the human sovereign loses, then our human race will be finished. His Majesty the human sovereign is invincible. He will definitely be able to defeat the enemy. Just as the human cultivators were silently praying for the human emperor outside the Kunlun's sacred ground, the sky above the Kunlun's sacred ground trembled violently. A crack that stretched for miles appeared, and in the crack, the human cultivators saw the human emperor and Yi Wuji's figures. Although the human emperor had obtained a great opportunity in the ruins of God, in the end, he could not stop Yi Wuji, who had refined the little 6 paths. He was suppressed by the power of his 6 paths. Oh no, His Majesty is in danger. Seeing the human emperor retreat, the human cultivators were so scared that their faces turned pale. Some even looked desperate. The human emperor is invincible. His Majesty, we are willing to fight with you. Under the incitement of words, a human cultivator was excited and wanted to charge into the sky. Suddenly, a black river of death crossed the void and blocked them, preventing them from flying into the sky to cause trouble. Boom! Just as the human cultivators were desperately attacking evil Slaughter Qianlu, Yi Wuji controlled the little 6 paths to tear through the human emperor's attack and hit his body, blasting him from the sky to the ground. The human emperor lost. Seeing the human emperor fall from the sky, many people cried out, unable to accept this fact. Yi Wuji, I underestimated you, but I haven't lost yet. I want to see how you can break my last trick. The human emperor flew out of the pit in a rather sorry state. His body flashed and appeared above the Kunlun sacred ground. He waved his hand and created a hurricane, sweeping hundreds of Kunlun's sacred ground disciples in front of him. Then, the cold-looking human emperor activated the restrictions in the souls of hundreds of Kunlun's sacred ground disciples. Boom, boom, boom. Wails of agony rang out one after another. Hundreds of Kunlun's sacred ground disciples turned into clouds of blood and died on the spot. Chapter 2132. Human Emperor, have you gone mad? Yi Wuji's face darkened when he saw the human sovereign killing the cultivators of the human clan. He said angrily, Yi Wuji, you forced me to do this. After killing hundreds of disciples of the Kunlun Holy Land, the human sovereign's expression did not change. He coldly said, Now, are you all very angry and annoyed? I will give you all a chance to save them. If you all retreat now, I will not kill them. Human Emperor, how about we change the terms of the deal? Yi Wuji controlled Little 6 Dao and sent the Chaos Stone flying. Let them go, and I'll tell you the secret of the ancient star path. Do I need you to tell me the secret of the ancient star path? The human emperor snorted. No, you definitely don't know the secret that I know, because it was calculated using the ancient star disk. Yi Wuji shook his head. As he spoke, Little 6 Dao expanded infinitely and turned into a light mirror. It recorded the scene in front of them and projected it out so that billions of people in the human territory could see it. No need. The human emperor shook his head and rejected directly. Yi Wuji, my patience is limited. If you don't leave now, don't blame me for killing everyone in the Kunlun sacred ground and turning this place into hell. Your Majesty. Hearing the human emperor's cold words, Ling Yusin, who was tightly held in Yu Yeming's arms, widened her eyes in disbelief. All of the spectating human cultivators were also rooted to the spot in mid-air, completely rooted to the spot. Human Emperor, I know you want to become a god, and everything you've done is for the sake of becoming a god. But if you become a sinner of the human race, what's the point of becoming a god? Yi Wuji said slowly as several thoughts flashed through his mind. I'm already a sinner of the human race, so what you're saying is useless to me. The human emperor shook his head, unmoved. How about this, human emperor? I can let you take these puppets and the chaos stone away. In exchange, You can spare the human disciples and the Kunlun's sacred ground. Yi Wuji compromised. Human Emperor, you were right from the start. You and I shouldn't have become enemies. Our real enemy is Shun Huang. He is our greatest rival for the battle of the gods. If you kill all the disciples of the Kunlun Holy Land today, I won't let you go even if I have to use all my strength. At that time, both of us will suffer great losses, and the one who will benefit the most is Shun Huang. Looking at the silent human sovereign, Yi Wuji continued. Also, the ancient starry sky path will appear within 10 years, and according to the calculations of the starry sky compass, an opportunity to become a god will appear in the ruins of God this time. Yi Wuji lowered his voice and whispered the last sentence into the human emperor's ears. Really? Hearing Yi Wuji's voice transmission, the human emperor's eyes lit up. He had abandoned his own race, abandoned everything, all for the sake of becoming a god. Yes, so it's not a good thing for both of us if we fight to the bitter end. Yi Wuji nodded and said, "Let those innocent people go, and I'll let you take away all your helpers. Perhaps in the battle of gods, you and I will have to work together to fight against Shun Huang." "Okay, I can let them go, but I need a promise from you," the human emperor said after thinking for a while. "Say it," Yi Wuji said calmly. "If I can do it, I will promise you. Before the ancient starry sky path appears, you can't find trouble with me anymore. If Shun Huang's real body attacks me, you must help and fight against him with me." The human emperor took a deep breath and looked into Yi Wuji's deep eyes. "Okay, as long as you don't kill my fellow humans, I won't find trouble with you anymore." Yi Wuji nodded and said, "And if Shun Huang attacks me, I also hope that you can lend me a hand." "Sure. The enemy of my enemy is my friend." Although the human emperor hated Yi Chunfeng to the core and wanted to tear Yi Chunfeng into pieces for killing Yu Huashan, he knew that his real enemy was Shun Huang. If he wanted to become a god, Shun Huang was a bigger threat. "Let's go." After reaching a consensus, the human emperor didn't kill anymore. He took away the stone of chaos, the god of swords, the god of sword, and the others. He glared at Yi Chunfeng and flew away. "Wuji, are you okay?" After the human emperor and the others left, Yi Wuji could no longer suppress the injuries on his body. A stream of blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth, and his face became pale. God Jade Heaven and God of Life immediately supported him and asked with concern, "Don't worry, I'm fine." Yi Wuji took a deep breath and suppressed his injuries. "Actually, the human emperor's injuries are worse than mine. He just used the 7-colored godly stone to suppress them. Let's go. Let's get out of here." After defeating the human emperor, Yi Wuji didn't enter the Kunlun Holy Land that was in chaos. He left with Yi Chunfeng and the others. However, the battle between Yi Wuji and the human emperor was spread all over the human race through the mouths of the powerful figures who were watching from afar. The human emperor's real face was revealed completely, causing an uproar among the human race. In the Golden Palace Mansion, "Yusin, do you believe me now? The human emperor isn't worth you risking your life for," Yu Yiming said softly as he looked at Ling Yusin's lovely face. "I know." Ling Yusin nodded. Suddenly, she looked into Yu Yiming's eyes and said, "Yiming, can you repeat what you said to me that day?" "What did I say?" Yu Yiming frowned slightly and tried hard to recall. "You forgot." Ling Yusin was slightly disappointed as she said, "It's fine if you forgot." "Yiming, you're so stupid. Do you want your mother and I to have no descendants?" Yi Chunfeng walked over slowly and said with disappointment, Oh, I remember now," Yu Yiming said with realization. "Dad, Mom, I want to marry Yusin and let her be your daughter-in-law. What do you think?" "Of course," Yi Chunfeng said with a faint smile. "Also, your grandpa and grandma said that they will help you step into the empty god realm when you give them a great-grandchild." "Really?" Yu Yiming was overjoyed. "You're really his father." Ling Yusin, who was in a mess, couldn't accept this fact. "Yes, I'm his father." Yi Chunfeng nodded. "All right, Yusin, let's not dwell on this matter. Come with me. I'll bring you to meet Yi Ming's grandpa and grandma." Yi Chunfeng smiled and brought Ling Yusin to meet Yi Wuji and Shun Yaotian. Although Yi Wuji had defeated the human emperor in the battle at the Kunlun sacred ground, he didn't feel relaxed. Instead, he looked solemn. Through the human emperor, he felt that there was a huge gap between him and Shen Huang. He had to refine the heaven-seizing supreme pill as soon as possible and step into the ultimate empty god realm. Otherwise, once Shen Huang came out, he would be in a dangerous situation. Feng Yao Yan, get ready. Tomorrow morning, we will leave for the demon realm. Yi Wuji took a deep breath and called for Yi Feng, Shen Yao Tian, and the rest. Father, why are we going to the demon realm at this time? Yi Feng asked, puzzled. Extracting the demon clan's origin energy and darkness origin energy to refine the three supreme pills. Yi Wuji said overbearingly. It was foreseeable that Yi Wuji and the rest would set off a bloodbath in the demon realm. Chapter 21:33. The original demon city was the holy land of the demon clan. It was located at the center of the demon world, suppressing the 9 great ancestral bloodlines of the demon clan. It was the holy city in the hearts of the demon clan. Every day, demon dwellers of the 9 great clans of the demon world would come here to worship. We're here. The original demon city is right in front. The original demon race is located in the original demon god mountain behind the original demon city. Under the war devil's lead, Yi Qinfeng's group drove the divine boat. After flying for almost a month, they arrived outside the original demon city, which covered an area of tens of thousands of miles. It was like a massive god nation. Looking at the spiraling mountains, the tranquil lakes, and the people coming and going in the city, Yi Feng couldn't help but sigh with emotion. If there were no wars, no disputes, and no ambitions, this place would definitely be a holy land. Fighting for God. God is so attractive. Yi Feng shook his head and muttered to himself. The original demon city was like any other large city. It was divided into an inner city and an outer city. The demon clansmen coming and going in the outer city weren't strong, and the security wasn't strict. However, when they arrived at the entrance of the inner city, Yi Feng's group was interrogated by the demon clan's guards. Stop. Do you have a pass? If you don't, you are not allowed to enter the inner city. A demon clan guard wearing black armor and holding a sharp spear glared at Yi Feng's group and questioned them loudly. See if I have a pass. Yi Feng's pupil shrank. His peak illusion dowel shot out of his eyes and poured into the eyes of the guards in the inner city. He instantly controlled their minds and easily entered the inner city. Feng, you guys wait for me here for a few days. I will arrange things in the city. Then, we will enter the original demon race. Although Yi Wuji was terrifyingly strong, it was no small matter to extract 2 great origin energies to refine pills in the original demon race. Yi Wuji needed to arrange things in advance to make sure nothing went wrong. All right. Yi Feng and the others nodded. They arrived at an inn in the origin devil inner city that was located in a secluded forest. Because Yu Nikhang, Xiao Rundai, and Ling Yusin were too beautiful, their every movement exuding an enchanting aura. As for Shen Yaotian and the god of life, they exuded a mature charm that made people want to take a bite out of them. Their appearance immediately attracted many pairs of ambitious eyes in the inn. His scorching gaze seemed to melt them. Yu Nikhang and the others ignored the surrounding gazes. They sat around an ancient table with Yi Feng and enjoyed the unique delicacies of the original demon race. They chatted and laughed. As they ate, Yi Feng and the others frowned slightly. They could clearly feel that the food that had just been served was poisoned. Looks like someone is really courting death. Although the poison in the food was very strong, Yi Feng and the others were very strong. Even Xiao Rundai had broken through to the 3-star ancestor realm, and her born Taoism aptitude had reached an unparalleled level. The poison in the food was no threat to them. Ladies and gentlemen, is the food delicious? At that moment, 3 men in gorgeous clothes with ancient totems tattooed on their arms walked over slowly while fanning jade fans. They looked at the beautiful Yu Nikhang and the others and spoke with ill intentions. The food is indeed delicious, but there are too many dogs in the inn. Eunuch Hang said coldly as she opened her red lips slightly and put a fresh piece of fish that exuded spiritual chi into her mouth. Lady, your words are really interesting. The man in the gorgeous clothes smiled slightly and said, but I like your personality. I am Yu Wentong. May I have the honor of getting to know you? Not interested. Xiao Rundai took a sip of spiritual tea and said coldly, you may not be interested, but this one is very interested in becoming friends with you. Seeing the charming faces of Eunuch Hang and the others up close, Yu Wentong and the others became more and more mesmerized. He smiled and said, right, I forgot to tell you beauties that this one is also a doctor. According to my observations, you should have been poisoned. Poisoned? You mean the poison in these dishes? Yi Chen Feng smiled and teased. I thought it was the seasoning. Brat, if you want to die, don't drag these beauties down with you. Yu Wentong warned coldly. The more he looked at Yi Chen Feng, the more he disliked him. Tao Tai, get rid of these flies. Yi Chen Feng couldn't be bothered to waste time with them, so he spoke to Tao Tai, who was sitting at another table and drinking with the Chaos Divine Beast. Wu. Hearing Yi Chen Feng's words, Tao Tai, who had transformed into a burly man, opened his bloody mouth and swallowed Yu Wentong in one gulp under his horrified gaze. You. Seeing this scene, Yu Wentong's two companions were scared silly. They looked at Tao Tai with fear in their eyes and wanted to escape. Wu, without waiting for them to escape, the Tao Tai opened its mouth and spat out a powerful suction force, directly swallowing Yu Wentong's two companions into its stomach. A tasteless, not tasty. After swallowing Yu Wentong and the others, Tao Tai curled its lips and returned to the table to drink with the Chaos Divine Beast. Tao Tai, you are really not particular. You eat everything, the Chaos Divine Beast said with some disdain. TSK, if I were you, what would you do? Tao Tai drank a big bowl of wine and said indifferently, kill them with a fart. The Chaos Divine Beast raised its head and said, Tao Tai, because of the disturbance caused by Yu Wentong and the others, Yi Chen Feng and the others lost interest and left the dining hall, returning to the side room to rest. The news of Yu Wentong and the other two's deaths reached the Yuan clan's ears immediately. Although Yu Wentong was not favored in the Yuan clan, the Yuan clan was the third clan in Origin Demon City and had a close relationship with the Origin Demon race. The Yuan clan's old patriarch was even an elder of the Origin Demon race. After learning that someone dared to provoke them in Origin Demon City, the Yuan clan's experts were furious and immediately mobilized experts to surround the inn where Yi Chen Feng and the others were staying. Just as the Yuan clan's almighty experts wanted to break into the inn and capture Yi Chen Feng and the others, a loud sound rang out, accompanied by a foul stench that tore through space and directly sent 3 Yuan clan almighty experts flying. Their bodies were torn apart and turned into 3 clouds of blood mist. Chaos, you are really uncultured. Tao Tai looked at Chaos, who had taken off his pants and farted, and said with a disdainful expression, was cultured. The Chaos Divine Beast said, cool is enough. Finishing his words, the Chaos God Beast Tao Tai walked out of the inn aggressively. Looking at the Yuan family warriors, who all had pale faces, he said arrogantly, if you don't want to die, then get the hell out of here. Whoever dares to stay, I, your grandpa Chaos God, will beat him to death. You are courting death. Yuan clan's patriarch was enraged by Chaos arrogance. He summoned a square seal-shaped supreme grade ancestral artifact and attacked the Chaos Divine Beast with a powerful ancestral might. Without waiting for the seal to hit the Chaos Divine Beast, Tao Tai opened his bloody mouth and swallowed the supreme grade ancestral artifact in one gulp, chewing it with loud kacha sounds. Ku! Seeing Tao Tai swallow the supreme grade ancestral artifact, the Yuan clan's experts were all dumbfounded. They looked at Tao Tai with fear in their eyes, and some people's legs even trembled. Really uncultured. The Chaos Divine Beast looked at Tao Tai with disdain and shook his head. Who are you people? Yuan clan's patriarch was well aware of the hardness of supreme grade ancestral artifacts. They could not afford to provoke someone who could even crush a supreme great ancestral artifact. If you don't want to die, scram. If you don't scram, this daddy will kill you. The chaos divine beast warned domineeringly. Patriarch, what should we do? The Yuan clan's experts asked through voice transmissions. What should we do? Scram. Chapter 2134. Have you heard? Yuan clan's people were forced to roll out of Clear Moon Tavern like dogs. Of course, I was passing by and saw it with my own eyes. I really don't know who is staying in Clear Moon Tavern to actually humiliate Yuan clan in original Demon City. Just wait and see, a good show is about to start. I don't believe Yuan clan can swallow this anger. Just as the eyes of various major forces and clans were focused on Clear Moon Tavern, Yuan clan and the 4 major clans of original Demon City appeared outside Clear Moon Tavern, joining forces to suppress Yi Qinfeng's group. Although the 4 major clans of original Demon City had extraordinary strength and even had Ancestor Realm experts, compared to Yi Qinfeng's group, their strength was too insignificant. Apart from the 4 major clans, there was also a 6-star Ancestor Realm old man in a black robe with an ancient pattern on his forehead. He was a Yuan clan's old patriarch, the elder of original Demon City. Yuan who? The people inside, listen up. Hurry up and roll out, or don't blame us for starting a massacre. With someone to rely on, the Yuan clan's patriarch, who wore a dark golden robe and had a thick black beard, gained confidence and spoke in an overbearing manner. Mother **, you dog. Last time, your grandpa Primal Chaos was in a good mood and spared your life. You actually dare to come again? Today, even the heavens won't be able to save you. The Primal Chaos divine beast appeared while cursing. Behind him was the Tao Tai, who was picking its teeth with a tree branch. Primal Chaos divine beast and Tao Tai. Yuan who was sitting on an armchair with an arrogant expression and a lofty attitude, jumped up from his chair in shock when he saw the Primal Chaos divine beast and Tao Tai walk out of Clear Moon Tavern. Beads of sweat appeared on his forehead. Although he had cultivated to the 6-star Ancestor Realm, he knew he was still no match for the Primal Chaos divine beast and Tao Tai. Thus, thoughts of retreating sprouted in his heart. You still dare to be arrogant in the face of death? Today, I will skin you alive. Yuan clan's patriarch didn't see through the true forms of the Primal Chaos divine beast and Tao Tai, and said without backing down, "Skin me alive?" The Primal Chaos divine beast said with a faint smile. "Shut up." Yuan who couldn't hold it in any longer and shouted at the Yuan clan head. "Did you hear that? My father is angry. You're dead meat." Yuan clan leader snorted coldly. He looked at the Chaos divine beast, Tao Tai, with a cold look in his eyes. "I told you to shut up." Yuan who was infuriated. He raised his hand and slapped the head of the Yuan clan, knocking him to the ground. "Father, why did you hit me?" Patriarch Yuan was a little confused. "Chaos and a bunch of ants. Why are you spouting so much nonsense? Watch me devour them." The Tao Tai could even devour stars and cities, let alone a mere few hundred people. Don't, it's all our fault this time. As long as the 2 divine beasts spare us, I'll immediately order people to present you with precious treasures to appease the 2 divine beasts. Sensing Tao Tai's sudden burst of aura, Yuan who had no doubt that Tao Tai had reached the empty god realm. Precious treasures. The Chaos divine beast snorted coldly. "What kind of treasures can you take out with your poor looks?" Wait. I'm an elder of the original demon race. If you kill me, you'll definitely anger the original demon race. I'm afraid it won't end well. Sensing the killing intent in the 2 divine beasts' eyes, Yuan who had no choice but to use the original demon race to pressure them. Perhaps, before long, the original demon race will no longer exist in the void god world. A domineering voice suddenly rang out. Yi Wuji, who was dressed in a dark blue robe, and whose entire body seemed to have become one with the space, returned to the Clear Moon Tavern after laying down a shocking trap in the Origin Demon City. "Father, you're back." After disappearing for 3 days, Yi Qinfeng, Phoenix God, and the others appeared outside the Clear Moon in one after another. Goo! Sensing Yi Qinfeng and the others' auras, Yuanhu's legs turned to jelly from fright. Never in his wildest dreams would he have thought that the Yuan clan would be so blind as to provoke a group of Void God Realm experts. As for why Yiwuji and the others had appeared in the original demon race, he was even more shocked. And it's time to go to the original demon race. Yiwuji nodded. Why are you here? Yuanhu sensed the seriousness of the situation and asked with a slightly trembling voice. Why don't you follow us to the original demon race, and you'll know. Yiwuji said with a faint smile. Senior, you must be joking. I still have matters to attend to, so I can't follow you back to the original demon race. Yuanhu was no fool. He knew what would happen if he went to the original demon race. That's not up to you. With that said, Tao Tai, under the command of Yiwuji, easily took control of Yuanhu and lifted him into the air like a little chick. Let's go. Yiwuji didn't let the Chaos Divine Beast start a massacre. Instead, he led the group in the direction of the original demon race. Family leader, what should we do? Seeing Yuanhu, the mainstay of the Yuan clan, being taken away by Yiwuji and the others, the Yuan clan members immediately panicked. I know what to do. Yuan clan leader only wanted to go to the netherworld and tear out his son's tendons. Go in and report for me. Say that Yiwuji and his family are here to pay a visit. Yiwuji's group flew to the outside of the original demon race. Looking at the heavily guarded original demon race, he ordered loudly. Yes. Yuanhu gulped and scrambled into the original demon race. Family leader, not good. Enemies are coming. Yuanhu mustered all his strength and ran into the original demon race to report to the 9 demonic gods. Enemies? Who is it? In the main hall, the 9 demonic gods, who were discussing the latest situation of the Void God world with the elders of the original demon race, frowned and said with a gloomy expression. As soon as the 9 demonic gods' voice fell, Yuanhu's entire body suddenly burst into flames. Then, the raging flames merged with Yuanhu's chi and blood, turning into a scarlet flaming finger. The finger shattered layers of space and pointed at the 9 demonic gods. Not good. The 9 demonic gods' expression changed slightly. Surging demonic chi gushed out of his body as he quickly punched out, bombarding the flaming finger. However, the hidden hand that Yiwuji had left in Yuanhu's body was extremely terrifying. The 9 demonic gods' tyrannical punch was unable to shatter the flaming finger. Puff! The 9 demonic gods spurted out a mouthful of blood as they were sent flying by the flaming finger. His entire body heavily crashed into the wall behind him, causing cracks to appear on the wall made of black gold. 9 demonic gods. Now you should know who the enemy is. Yiwuji's tyrannical voice resounded in the sky above the original demon race, lingering for a long time, shocking the entire original demon race. The formations and restrictions of the original demon race were nothing to Yiwuji. He continuously tore apart the formations and restrictions of the original demon race, bringing Yi Chanfeng and the others to the central hall. Yiwuji, it's you. Chapter 2135. What are you all standing around for? Hurry up and send a message to the patriarchs of the Nether Demon Race, Myriad Demon Race, War Demon Race, Water Demon Race, Crimson Demon Race. Tell them to quickly bring people through the teleportation formation and come to the Origin Demon Race's aid. Yiwuji's threat was too great. If they wanted to defeat him, they would only have a chance if they gathered all the forces of the demon race. Demon God Jiu wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and ordered loudly, "Buzz, buzz, buzz," as Yiwuji and the others flew into the depths of the Origin Demon Race. Ancestral diagrams that contained the power of the ancestral veins appeared in the air and attacked Yiwuji and the others. Although the Origin Demon ancestral diagrams were powerful, they couldn't stop Yi Chanfeng and the others. They smashed through the diagrams like a hot knife through butter and arrived above the main palace of the Origin Demon Race, where they saw Demon God Jiu and the others. Yiwuji, do you really want to start a war between the human race and the demon race? Demon God Jiu glared at Yiwuji and the others with a gloomy face. Stop talking nonsense. Tell Yama God to come out. You guys are no match for me. Yi Wuji replied domineeringly. You. Hearing Yi Wuji's disdainful words, demon god Jiao almost exploded with anger. However, he was only at the peak of the Nihility god realm. Even with the power of the ancestral veins, he could only fight against the peak of the Nihility god realm. Yi Wuji, the origin dragon god, and Tai Yi were all peak of the Nihility god realm experts. He was no match for them. Yi Wuji, origin dragon god, you really think the demon race has no one? Suddenly, a ferocious voice sounded. The forbidden land of the demon race shone with tens of thousands of demonic light, illuminating the entire world. The ancestral veins of the origin demon race were also boiling at this moment. Master, feeling the sudden awakening of this terrifying aura, demon god Jiao and the others were overjoyed. Peak of the Nihility god realm. Yama God, you really broke through. As an old rival of Yama God, the origin dragon god's turbid eyes shone with endless light. He didn't expect Yama God, who he had defeated back then, to step into the peak of the Nihility god realm with his own strength and foundation. Humph, even a half-dead old dragon like you can break through to peak virtual god. Why can't I? The Yama God was dressed in a long black robe. His long black hair cascaded down his shoulders, and his dark skin glowed with a lustrous luster. He looked like a middle-aged man, and he was standing on two strange birds with 3 heads. They were pitch black all over and seemed to be devouring all light around them. Fiend God, Yi Wuji and the others immediately recognized the 2 strange birds beneath the Yama God's feet. These 2 strange birds were evolved from 2 great Yama Gods. Their strength had reached the great circle of the void god realm. 3-headed bird god. The god fiend torch dragon was infuriated when he saw the Yama God standing on the 2 3-headed birds. The 3-headed bird god was the totem of the fiend god race and also their spiritual pillar. Now that it was being trampled under someone's foot, the fiend god torch dragon couldn't accept this fact. The 3 divine birds are dead. They are only puppets. The god of life glanced at the 2 birds and slowly said, Lord Bird God, I swear that I will avenge you. The fiend god torch dragon clenched his fists and swore to himself, Yama God, let this old bone test how much your strength has increased after reaching the peak of the void god realm. Looking at his old opponent, the primordial dragon god's eyes were filled with boundless battle intent. He took a step forward and crossed thousands of meters in an instant, appearing in front of the Yama God, who was standing on the 3-headed bird god. Caw-caw. The primordial dragon god, the sword god, and the 2 3-headed bird gods screeched at the sky and spewed out lightning-like fiend god energy, attacking the primordial dragon god at close range. Although the 2 3-headed bird gods were strong, they couldn't threaten the primordial dragon god. A large amount of dragon aura emanated from the primordial dragon god's body, shattering the fiend god energy. Bang! The primordial dragon god gathered all the primordial dragon power in his fist and punched out. It collided with the palm of the Yama God, and instantly there were sparks in the air. Thump, thump, thump. After taking the blow head-on, the primordial dragon god's body trembled. He couldn't help but retreat a few hundred meters before he could stabilize himself. On the other hand, the Yama God who was standing on the 2 3-headed bird gods didn't move an inch. Obviously, the Yama God's combat strength was far superior to the primordial dragon gods. He had almost reached the peak of the void god realm. What a strong massacre energy! Yi Wuji's eyes narrowed. Looking at the Yama God who was filled with massacre energy, he said, So, you have the most precious massacre spirit in the massacre tomb. Yi Wuji, I have underestimated you. I didn't expect you to know so much while hiding in the lesser 6 paths. The Yama God smiled viciously and said, Today, I will show you the true power of the massacre spirit. Yama God, although you have the massacre spirit, compared to the human sovereign, your strength is far inferior. Although the massacre spirit was powerful, it was far inferior to the 7-colored paragon stone that the human sovereign had obtained on the ancient path of stars. In terms of combat strength alone, the Yama god was far inferior to the human sovereign. Primordial dragon god, leave the Yama god to me. You two go deal with the others. Yi Wuji shouted arrogantly. With a domineering aura, he attacked the Yama god. The little six paths circulated within Yi Wuji's body. The terrifying origin of the six paths shattered everything in its path as it collided with the divine power of slaughter unleashed by the Yama god. Boom! There was a sound like the sky was cracking. In the head-on collision, Yi Wuji had the absolute advantage. The Yama god was pushed back by his punch. The two three-headed bird gods under his feet cried out in pain. Master! Seeing the Yama god being pushed back by Yi Wuji's punch, the 9 demon gods' hearts sank. The Yama god was the demon race's greatest reliance. If the Yama god was defeated, the demon race wouldn't be able to resist Yi Wuji's family. It could be said that the Yama god was the key to the demon race's prosperity. Let's go and kill the demon race's mighty ones. While Yi Wuji and the Yama god were fighting fiercely, Yi Chunfeng and the others used their own methods to attack the 9 demon gods, who were pale with fright. Chaotic Dharma form, Heart of God, fuse. Yi Chunfeng took the lead. He burned his primordial blood and fused his 2 trump cards to increase his combat strength to the maximum. He attacked the 9 demon gods, who were at the void god perfection stage. Immortal slaughtering saber, immortal slaying saber. Yi Chunfeng attacked at an extremely fast speed. The 9 demonic gods summoned the immortal slaughtering saber and activated the profound divine patterns on the immortal slaughtering saber. They fused with the power of the ancestral bloodline and slashed at Yi Chunfeng with a heaven-slashing posture. Chaos field fuse. The 9 demon gods slashed at him. Yi Chunfeng instantly fused with the chaos field and increased his combat strength to almost 200 billion kilograms. He held the universal sword in his hand and met the attack with the most powerful stance. Boom! The 2 divine weapons collided and instantly cracked the sky. After the collision, Yi Chunfeng and the 9 demon gods trembled at the same time. However, the 2 of them did not retreat and continued to fight fiercely. Yi Chunfeng and the 9 demon gods fought fiercely. Shun Yaotian, the god of life, and Tai Yi suppressed the attacks of the demonic tribe, virtual gods, with an overwhelming advantage. However, Shun Yaotian and the others seemed to have discussed it beforehand. They only severely injured the demonic tribe, virtual gods, but did not kill them. Time stop. Yi Chunfeng fought the 9 demon gods head-on. After hundreds of moves, he suddenly stopped time and forcibly froze the 9 demon gods. What? The 9 demon gods did not expect Yi Chunfeng to have mastered the most mysterious time stop. His expression changed drastically, and he immediately summoned the celestial slaughtering umbrella to defend himself. At this time, Yi Chunfeng had fused 2 domains and consecutively used 3 supreme superpowers to attack the 9 demon gods. Although the celestial slaughtering umbrella's defense was shocking, it could not withstand the 3 supreme superpowers that Yi Chunfeng had used consecutively. The terrifying supreme power passed through the celestial slaughtering umbrella and poured into the 9 demon gods' arms. The impact caused the skin on his arms to split open and his mouth to spit out blood. 3 life stone, suppress.